TLP Sports Club. You are now watching TLP Live. I'm your host, Harry Billion. I'm so glad to be alive, be amongst the living. Thank God that we are here and we get an opportunity to talk Colorado football. It's not the most important thing in our lives, but it is something that's a part of our lives. It gives us a break to talk about our favorite sports team or our favorite college football team, talk about the nuances and the different things that are around our team. So, welcome to Free for All Friday, guys. I'm so glad we made it to Friday, March the 8th, my birth month. So excited to talk to you today. Free for All Friday is when we talk about Free for All Friday is basically when we talk about everything around the team. We usually do that anyway, but Free for All Friday kind of like we let the conversation go where the conversation is going to go. And if you are new around here, if this is your first time seeing my face or you are new to TLP Sports Club, I'm Harry B, or I go by Harry Billion. Thank you for watching. If you are watching post live and this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button. That's how I grow. And if you're not used to my channel, you don't really know what I do around here. I don't just do the buffs. I do the buffs, okay? So this channel is your premier channel to learn everything about the buffs. All right, from top to bottom. You will get everything on this YouTube channel. I educate you here about the buffs on everything. The historical information, the present information, obviously, right? The present most pressing information, I give you that. And I give you the historical information. The last video that I dropped, it was about Rick George. If you didn't see that video yet, guys, go see that video. That video is a pretty good video. I spent a couple of days on it. So it's a pretty good video. It's like his life and his history. So I give you that, and I give you a lot more than that. All right. If I'm not giving you the breaking news, right, I'm giving you information that can help you to appreciate this team. Colorado is a university, right? We're cheering for a college team. If you didn't go to Colorado, if you never been to Colorado and you're just here for either Coach Prime or whatever the hype is, I think for you to really cheer for this team, you got to know the team. You got to get to know the team because that's how your cheers are going to mean a little bit more when you really get to know the team. And when I say know the team, I mean get to know the personnel, get to know who's behind the scenes, making all these things work. That helps you to kind of like get the feeling like you went to the school. Like you start to own it. You start to become part of the fabric of the team. So that's what I do on this channel. Now, right now, I'm dealing with Colorado because of Coach Prime, but hopefully I'm going to grow into other sports, other teams. And when we start growing and start spreading our wings, I'll start covering college football as a whole. But for right now, this is where it's at, and this is who I'm serving. I'm serving the Colorado Buffaloes fan, but this channel is probably going to grow in the near future. But yeah, when you get to know Colorado, man, when you get to know Rick George, he grew up in he was born in Woodstock, Illinois. Um, and I call the team the Illini. And you guys, thank you for correcting me. That is the Illini, Illini or Illini or whatever it is. All right. Like Illinois has been really plaguing me because I started calling it Illinois, and you guys got annoyed. But yeah, man, if you get to know Rick George, if you don't really know Rick George, the person that got Coach Prime here, if you don't know him, go watch that video. I'm telling you, the details in that video, you will be like, wow, Coach Prime and Rick George has a lot in common. There were but they both played the same three sports: baseball, football, basketball. They both played it. Rick George lettered in all of them. He didn't go to the pros, but he's a money man. Like that guy knows how to get the money. When he told Coach Prime, I ain't got the money yet, but I'm gonna get it. he wasn't lying. Rick George went and got the money, and he knows how to get the money. So, I mean, when you watch the video, you'll understand. I do those videos, and my next series of videos, which I'm giving away anyway, because I know somebody else could do it, but I do it better on this channel anyway. I'm going to be dealing with the mascots. I'm kind of warming you up to those videos. I'm going to be dealing with the mascots in the Big 12. Not the entire Big 12, 16 teams. I'm going to be doing our schedule. It's a fun video. When you get an opportunity, when I drop that video, you should watch it, because you get to learn about the teams, how they became who they are, the students. That gives you more of an appreciation for college football, and also for the team that you're rooting for. So that's what I do on this channel, guys. I'm not just a buff news hot topic channel. I also give you a lot of information to help you appreciate the team, so that Saturdays are a lot more special than just a football game. You become a part of the community. So welcome to the TLP Sports Club community. It is a community around here. A lot of the people that you're going to see on the panel, you're going to hear on the panel. A lot of the people you're going to see in the comments, the names are going to start becoming familiar, like DC Carson, KMS, Phil So Real, who is a member of this channel. I'm not sure if another member's here. He's Peter Investor. I mean, the community is strong, and the community is always growing. So I'm appreciative of the people that are around here. And it's almost like you know these people. Like if you ever go to a game and you meet these people at a tailgate or something, you're like, hey, Phil, what's up, man? Yo, KMS, DC, what's up, man? I know. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Let me get some drink. Let me take off some water right quick. I'm gonna be drinking a lot more on this video, because a cold ravaged through my family, and we're still dealing with it. So, you know, when the kids get sick, once they come home, it's a wrap. I went from dealing with my tooth, and then the cold hit us. So it's like back to back. So this dry cold is in my system, and I'm trying to get rid of it. So I have to keep drinking. And excuse me, and I'm sorry if I cough, okay? But yeah, man, this is a community, and I'm appreciative of the people in the community. So let's say hello to the people, and then we're going to go ahead and get the show started. Before I do that, guys, please remember you can call in right at the top of your screen. Write the email down for next time. If you don't call in today's show, maybe you get busy and you can't call in. Join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email that you're going to email me. You email that email, and then I'll send you a link. Don't be afraid. I'm not using that email to spam you or anything like that. So don't be afraid to do that. I know some people are like, I didn't really think about it before, though. I'm glad I'm saying it now. I know some people are like, oh, he's gonna spam me and do something. No, I just use that email to pretty much communicate with you as far as like the show. I'll send you a link, and if you don't talk to me, if you don't ever email me there, I will never email you back. Okay, I'm not a spammer. I just use that email to send you the link. And if you ever want to say, hey, Harry, I saw this online, I wanted you to check it out, you send me an email there, I will respond to you. But you know, I respect your privacy, I respect your time, and I'm not going to be doing that spamming stuff. So join tlplive@gmail.com, and you email me, I send you a link, and you can come on here and you can share your thoughts, and we can have a good time on Free for All Friday. All right, guys. So I want to say hi to D-Cot 711. Let's say Rosecrans Bory TV. If I know I'm messing that up, it's coming in a little weird. KMS, what's up with you? Phil So Real, what up? Tim Smith, what up, man? Dallas is in the building. He used to put that every time he put it in the comments. Now I know to just say it. Dallas is in the building. Yes, sir. What up, guys? So a lot more are watching and probably cannot come into the chat. We're hoping that more people will join. And to make that happen, guys, please make sure to hit that like button so that the algorithm can go ahead and do its thing. But Colorado is actually shedding weight. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Colorado is getting rid of good players. And don't take that the wrong way. It's a good thing. When you start getting to the good players, and you're getting rid of, and keep in mind, I'm not saying Colorado is losing good players. Colorado is getting rid of good players. All right, so there's a difference between losing good players and getting rid of good players. Why is it good that they're getting rid of good players? Because that means that DEPTH is happening at Colorado. Yeah. DEPTH depth is at Colorado finally. And the people that want to be at Colorado are finally at Colorado. So, what happens when those good players are gotten rid of? Or what does that mean? That means that DEPTH is in the building. That means that this perspective, if you got good players in the building, if each room has enough good players and you got to cut somebody, you got to get rid of some dead weight. I hate to call it dead weight, but you got to get rid of some weight, right? How do you do it? What happens is those players that you're getting rid of, they're decent players. Because, I mean, you guys been in different chat rooms. I've seen you in different chat rooms. So come on, like, I know where you at, okay? I know you're in these different chat rooms. I see y'all. But you guys are having conversations about Jack Bailey leaving. I think Jacob Polite, the long snapper, left. So, you know what I'm saying? So we're getting rid of players who were starters. Jack Bailey started all 12 games. All right, and he was one of the linemen, and he was a guard. I think he was a right guard. So, and he started all 12 games. So what does that mean? That means that we got to have some right guards, or we got to have some guards in the building that need that scholarship. That's a good sign for Colorado. That's a good thing. If you are a fan, and whether you are a casual fan or you consume every video that comes out, no matter where you are, that should send a good message to your cranium, all right, to your dome, to say, wow, Colorado is going to be decent this year. Colorado is going to be decent. Like, it's been a little quiet, I ain't gonna lie. Coach Brown's been he's been mad low key, but for good reasons. Colorado is like, it's not much. Coach Prime is not going to give you that much meat this year. I'm kind of glad that he's not. He's still sending his messages through well-off media, reach the people, but it's not the same. Like, this year feels different, all right? That's what I want to talk about today. And I want to ask you guys a question. Because when we ended last Monday night show, and I want to let you guys know that Monday nights, we're now Monday nights, like Monday Night Football, and we're Friday mornings, okay? So we do Friday mornings, Friday afternoons for mornings for the West Coast, and afternoon for the East Coast at 12 o'clock. But Monday night show was pretty good. It was decent. It wasn't the best show, but it was the first show Monday nights that we're going to be doing Monday nights. So make sure to join us on Monday nights. Don't forget to join us and add your voice to the conversation. But yeah, we ended that show by saying there has been a report that came out that the training staff has have confidence that the team is now in shape. So, and they said that they're in shape, but they're ahead of schedule. So now they get to go into the next phase early. So now they're going into that next phase, which is what does that mean? That means that the guys that are there are ready for whatever else is there. All right, are they ready for full contact? Not yet. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But being in shape is that first phase. You get in shape first, all right, and then you start going through drills and techniques and mechanics, everything else that it takes for you to be able to gel on that football team, so everybody can be in sync. Because football is poetry in motion. So we get to we're past that phase where people are throwing up. Well, people are still going to throw up no matter what, at what point. But people are now dragging all of the Wendy's and KFC and all of the junk food. It's not affecting them poorly anymore. They're running now. They're not out of breath. They're not dragging anymore. Now they can run at the speed that they need them to run at for the D1 level. So they're in shape. So we're early on that. But the fact that Colorado is actually shedding weight, it's a good sign. And I want everybody to understand why that's a good thing. Okay? It's you if you are a Colorado fan, you should be celebrating. All right? You should be celebrating that we are in shape, number one, and that we're shedding good weight. Because when you start working out, right? The first time, when you start working out, the first phase of that, you're going to start losing fat, all right? But then you get to a certain point where it's not just fat anymore, where now you start gaining muscle. So we're getting rid of good players now. So Colorado is in a phase or in a place where, like, what's happening? I want to ask you this question. Which room do y'all think is the strongest room at Colorado? Which position room is the strongest room at Colorado? Let me hear what you got to say in the chat. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and hit that like button, guys, if you're watching, so we can get more people in the room, in the building. So spring is April 27th. The spring game is April 27th. Now you get to so I want to know, JB said the wide receivers room. If you can type in there, which room do you think is the strongest room that Colorado has? Colorado, do you think our linebackers are, well, should I even put the linebackers in there? The linebackers are still lacking. Still lacking. Now, if you ask, I don't know, I think his name was Chor. If you ask Chor from Monday Night Show, nothing is lacking at Colorado, okay? I have never seen a fan that's so enthusiastic about Colorado football more than Chor. Chor was like, ain't nothing wrong. We about to take it 12-0. I was like, okay. That was a different perspective. New perspective. Like, he taking the whole belief thing to a whole new stratosphere I've never been to. Nothing's wrong. I was like, dang, that's different. Oh man. Do you think the defensive backs room is stacked enough? Is the offensive line stacked? The defensive line? Which room do you think is the best room? Like, that can compete with anybody in college football? Which room? All right. Now, obviously, I would say if we start with the quarterbacks room, that I would say the quarterbacks room is probably the number one room that Colorado has. But if it's depth-wise, I don't know if it's the best room, because there are teams where their starter is afraid. Like, when your starter is afraid, that's really a good thing. All right? When you want your starter to be afraid for his job, because that means that the guy next to him is just as good as he is, and he knows that if he goes down, he better play hurt. All right, you better play hurt if you are a starter on like a Georgia, Alabama. I'm just using those legacy names, right? If you are on like Michigan, or I would say I would even throw Arizona in there, because the guy that they ended up with was not their starting quarterback. That was the guy that was the backup. And then 2022, TCU, Max Duggan was not the starting quarterback. Tyson Chandler was Chandler Morrison, or Morris, or whatever his name is. He was the starting quarterback, and he was replaced. So I would say our starting quarterback our quarterback room is good. But if it's depth-wise, we're probably not one of the best, okay? Because I don't know that we have that much depth. But, hey, Phil, so real calling in the show, man. I appreciate you always calling in. What's up, man?
Oh, good, man. Everything is good, man. Enjoying my Friday. Just had me some tacos, so I'm ready to go now, man.
Awesome, man. Yo, I appreciate the membership, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I want
no
to make sure
problem
I
at all,
do it
man.
right.
I appreciate that, man. Listen, I enjoy the channel. I enjoy coming on the show. You are a person that I feel like actually has some integrity in this CU Buffs game. So I
Yeah.
want to support what I believe in. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to hate watch somebody, but why not actually watch somebody you enjoy and you want to support, you know?
Wow, man. I appreciate that. Those are some healing words right there.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, man. It's been Ever since we dropped that stretch video, it's been a tough month for TLP. It's been a
but
tough
yo,
month.
but if it was a different channel, then people would expect that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Which one do you want? You know?
Right, right. We have a good time on this channel. Everything is not, what I'm saying, if it's not roses and peaches and berries and we mix it up.
Yeah,
We try to mix it up, but it's authentic. It's not, we're not fake. If somebody says something wrong, we're gonna check them. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
It's
for
not like
sure.
we're not hating on this channel. So let me get you started off. What room do you think? I don't know how much time you spend, evaluating Colorado, but what room
Mhm.
do you think is Colorado's best room?
Colorado's best room right now. Uh, I would probably have to say wide receivers, man. I think the receiving core. Uh, I don't know how many people that Sherman likes to rotate, or the wide receiver coach likes to rotate, but
Mhm.
I can see them easily having five guys, having over 10 catches this year. Like I think they have, they got the right amount of people that can get the job done, and I feel confident in.
So you're not choosing the quarterback's room because you think it's just Shador, so that's not really a room. That's just like
Right. Well, yeah, and you brought that up, right before I came on. But I've always said I don't feel like Colorado has their heir apparent at quarterback.
okay.
And I mean, you never know. Like, I mean, Dion could mess around and get Juju Lewis or whatever the kid's name is up in Carrollton, Georgia next year for quarterback.
Hmm.
But I would feel much more confident if there was somebody, excuse me, if there was somebody that kind of stood out. And right now, I don't think we've seen who's really standing out at quarterback just yet.
Oh, okay.
Backup quarterback, I should say.
So it's not a room yet. It's just a table with one guy sitting at it, and it's Shador.
It's a room with two walls. It ain't complete yet.
It's not quite a room yet.
Yeah, yeah. It's just you know, it got the studs on there. We ain't put the drywall up yet. How about that?
Okay, they got the framing done.
Yeah,
But they,
because I
they
mean,
haven't even started.
I think these guys can be good. I just, what I'm saying, I don't feel like I've seen enough from them to be that confident. Even the kid coming from Vanderbilt, I mean, he looks like an athlete. You know what I'm saying? He's a stud. Like, he's 6'4", 220, something like that. Looks like he can run pretty well. But I don't know if that's the type of offense that Sherman's going to run. So do we need more of a traditional, drop back quarterback to play at Colorado to fill in Shador's shoes, or are you going to go with somebody that's more mobile? So it's a lot that goes into it. But if we don't have answers by the end of spring, I'll be concerned. But I think we'll have some answers uh, come spring game.
Question for you: How do we judge college football players as far as their ceiling? How do we judge a football player's ceiling? If somebody's not starting, right? Obviously, like somebody like a Max Duggan was not the starter,
Hmm. Hmm.
so we're not really putting too much. We don't put too much weight on non-starters. But if
Right.
somebody's on like Colorado's team, where Colorado is not really a legacy team yet, we're not
Hmm.
looking at Colorado as one of these teams where, oh my gosh, their players are so overwhelmingly good that if they were to leave, they're gonna really affect somebody's team like we do the legacy Georgias, the Alabamas, the Tennessees. How do we judge a ceiling? Like, so the people that are in that room, how are we judging them? Is it by are we judging them by like their potential to go to the NFL, or how are we actually judging these people?
I would say first, if they're a backup, right? That's what you're saying, or just a
Yeah,
starter. Period.
if they're a backup, not necessarily a starter, how do we judge their ceiling, like their
So
potential?
So you brought up Georgia, you brought up Alabama. There was a clip a while back that was leaked where Coach Saban was doing his basically doing his sales pitch to one of the recruits. And his point was that, yeah, you may not start at Alabama for the first 2 years, but we had a situation where, oh geez, Cam Robinson, which was ended up being a top 10, 15 pick in the NFL on offensive line, he was getting a chance to practice against Jonathan Allen, who played defensive end, that ended up getting drafted in the first or second round from Alabama. So even though neither one of those guys was starting, they were able to go against the best. And the cream is always going to rise to the top. So even though you may be on the second string, even though you may be on the third string, you need to be showing out at that string that you're in, going against who you're going against. Because a lot of times you may get a chance to go against the actual starters. So if you whooping their butt at practice, that's gonna get somebody's attention. And then when you actually get a chance to get on the field during a real game, can you make the most of your moment? Those are kind of what they're looking for. And then also you just got to be coachable as well. Because if you're not starting, and then that means you have some type of inefficiency somewhere. So at some point
Mm-hmm.
you have to be able to get coached up.
Mm. Okay. So let me bring Tim into the conversation. Tim, what up, man? Tim Smith, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in. You know I appreciate you calling in.
Hey, what's going on, Harry, man? Thank you for having me on today, man. What's up, Phil?
What's good? What's good?
Absolutely, man. So so which room do you think is Colorado's best room and why?
I would agree with Phil. I would say the wide receiver room. The wide receiver room has, I feel like, more depth. Um, the guys that that have came in, I feel like they plug and play and they ready. Um, so I think I would say the wide receiver room.
So the wide receiver room, like, are you looking at them from the perspective of being able to compete at any level, or just for the Big 12?
Um, Based off of what Coach Prime has brought in, I feel like they can compete at any level. Will Shepard, um, he was what SEC receiver leader, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, you have the young man from FAU that's coming in. He's a
Mm-hmm.
he's a mismatch for any DB. I feel like in college football, he's a problem. Um, then you got Travis Hunter who can play both sides of the field, but just say for instance he on one side of the field. You got Will Shepard on the other side. You got the young man from FAU. I forgot his name.
If you guys
Uh,
know his name, drop the name in the
I want
chat.
and then you also got Jimmy Horn. You got Caleb Mathis that can run good routes. Caleb
Mm-hmm.
Mathis is a good route runner. Then you have the young man from Louisiana that had the breakout game against USC. Uh, crap. Miller.
Miller.
You
Yeah.
got Miller. Um,
Mm.
it's just they have depth, and these guys can perform. And they just a mismatch. I feel like they gonna run. I feel like they're gonna run the Big 12. Those receiver core that Colorado have is going to be hard to stop.
I think they're gonna be
What's
good
it?
for sure. It's gonna be
Oh,
interesting.
you talking about Wester?
Yes, Wester. And if you and I think on one of your shows you was talking about the guys that was breaking down the film.
Yeah.
Okay, they broke Wester film down. He killed Clemson.
Mm.
Clemson is not a run over team. They well coached. But I feel like as far as and the reason that I say wide receiver room is because I don't feel like there's not a lot of lockdown cornerbacks in the NCAA. So I just feel like that wide receiver room is gonna be crazy, bro. Showtime.
Is there any consolation rooms, or what would you say is your second best room? Like what other room is really good? Yeah, let's deal with that, and then I'll throw this question out let me throw it out before I forget it. What room needs to then get better? If there, what's the second one? But then I want to talk about which room needs to get better. So what is your? Let's go to Phil for this one. Phil, what is your second room? And then I get Tim on. And what is your second room, or the second strongest room you think?
The second strongest room. Just looking at um, the transfers that came in, I would probably have to say the defensive line. So defensive tackles or defensive ends. I think that would probably be the second best position group.
Rhonda Miles is already chiming in. The tight ends in the room need to get better, like for sure. So so Tim, what is your second room? Before I go to the next one, before we answer this question that's on the pin question.
I think the strongest second room to me. I know a lot of people don't like the quarterback's room, but I like that quarterback room. Honestly, that's the room. That's my second strongest room, in my opinion.
But do you think it's a room when you only have one guy? When you have one guy, or are you considering it a room because you're thinking about the backups? You think they're good enough to be a room? You got to unmute. All right, so Tim is out of commission for.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I think the backups are good enough to come in, man. I mean, they started at other programs. They may not have had the performance that they may have wanted, but the young man coming over from Kentucky, that's the SEC, man. They they playing some good well-rounded teams. Even though I would say the Pac-12 had the best quarterbacks this past season, but talking about well-rounded teams Saturday after Saturday, I feel like he can hold his weight. I feel like they can hold their weight in the Big 12, coming from where they came from.
But hey, let me ask you this, Tim. Do you think that we have enough film to like truly be confident in those guys as far as the backup quarterbacks are concerned? Because that's my biggest thing is we don't have enough live action film of them playing, real meaningful game time to say I feel
So
confident they can do X, Y, and Z.
so the quarterback from Kentucky, you don't think that's enough film time?
No, I'm asking you the question because like for me,
Yeah,
yeah,
I feel like the quarterback from Kentucky.
wait,
It,
yeah.
yeah, I think Wade would be my next man up because he had a lot of playing time this past season. So uh, I would feel more comfortable with Wade being back up to Shador.
Do we know how
Like
many
I
Now,
snaps
said, that,
Wade took? Did I in that quarterback's video? Did I say how many snaps he took, or do we know how many snaps he took?
I
I'm
remember
gonna
you
try to
mentioning
pull
it
it
at
up.
one point of time, but I don't have that information in front of me right now at this moment.
Okay, so let's pivot real quick. I'm gonna bring on the tennis channel, but we're gonna pivot before I bring him on. Do y'all think Cormani? This is from real life. Do y'all think Cormani will start? Not quite sure he can be top 2 in DB room unless someone gets hurt. So, Willie from the tennis channel, welcome to the show, brother. I thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Yes, sir.
Very good. I'm having issues with my account here, man. For a minute, I couldn't get in. Now I'm in, and I think I'm going to agree with I think the guy that was before me. Do we have enough information? We got a lot of new people here, and I know you're asking us, what do you think? What do we think? We can only base it on what we see in practices.
Which question
Um,
are you answering? Are you answering the real life question on board, or are you answering the previous
the
question?
real life practices that we see the guys that are at CU now. That's all you can go off of the previous video, but
No,
they
no, no.
have
Listen, Willie.
to.
Are you answering real life question? Like on the screen, it says real life. Ask this question: do y'all think Cormani will start? Not sure what
Oh,
he can, if he can be top 2 in the DB room unless someone gets hurt. Or are you answering the question which room is better? Which your best room?
I'm coming in kind of late, so I was doing some stuff, so maybe I missed a
Oh yeah,
little
okay.
bit. I
So yeah,
missed a
so the
little bit
question
of
on
it.
the question on the board on the floor currently is: do you think from real life says, do y'all think Cormani will start? What are your thoughts? Let's start with that. Let's start you off with that.
Okay,
Do you
okay.
think Cormani will start?
I think he will.
Phil,
He
Hey,
yeah.
Phil, you got a sound in the background, brother.
Okay. I know what it is. Let me put it. Does that help a
No,
little bit?
that was Phil. You're good. You're good, Willie.
Oh, okay. I think he will because of what he's gone through. He's going through a metamorphosis now, where he's learning. His whole attitude has changed, and I think he will start. I can't think of any other corner
Think
that
about what
we
you're
would have.
saying. Well, think about what you're saying. Start and playing time is two different things. Starting, that means that you're that guy. Coach Brown believes that you're going to be able to put the team in a better place if you are on the field. So metamorphosis and playing time, think about that.
Okay, I think that he's going to start. If he's a
Okay.
starter, he's going to have a lot of playing time. That makes sense?
So you believe, okay, so you think he's gonna no. I was trying to differentiate between maybe he is going through that metamorphosis that you said, and he will get a lot of playing time. But do you think he's gonna start? Like, do you think he's gonna be a starter?
Yeah, I believe he will. I
Okay.
believe he's going to
What
be
do
a
you
starter.
all right, Tim? Tim, what do you think? Do you think Cormani starts this year, and why? Give me your best reason why.
Mm, I don't. I like Carmoni, but he just going into his second season, his second year. So the work that he's putting in is showing that he really wants this. He's hungry for it. As far as starting, uh, I have to see more. But as of right now, I feel like he'll get a lot more playing time than what he did last season to potentially be that number one guy on the other side of Travis Hunter.
So start. Okay. I mean, I think I agree to a certain extent because starting is another thing. Playing time is one thing, but starting is another thing. Like when you are number one, when you are CB number one, that means that the staff trusts you and they believe that you're the best guy we can win with. That's what starting means to me. What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I think he's going to start this year. I think um, this was the whole reason to get him to Colorado, so you can have he and Travis Hunter shutting down both sides of the field. You know what I mean? You
Exactly.
want to see that promise fulfilled right now, so he has to be out there. Now I'm looking on the CU roster, and they have Preston Hodge listed as a cornerback, and if I'm not mistaken, he was a safety. So I don't know if he's going to be moving to cornerback, but I know he was a pretty talented guy coming out of Liberty. So um, I don't know what that will look like if they move him in the corner. I don't know what that'll be, but I think Carmoney has to be the guy to start. I think it looks like he's put in the work. He's put on the weight. I think he's going to be ready. But this is what you brought him to Colorado for, to put him, across from Travis. So it got to be this year.
So okay.
Hey, one thing real quick, Harry,
Mm-hmm.
and it also depends on how. We already know that Travis Hunter displayed what he can do on the field, so that's a no-brainer. But it's also up to what Livingston see in Carmoni and how the DBs will fit into the direction that he's trying to go as a first-time defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also Kamadi poses a greater threat to any quarterback. He's long, lanky back there. He played a little bit last year. We saw some of the, all of, stuff that he did, mistakes he made, but he poses a greater threat, I think, because he can move a little bit back when he has to. Just him knowing where to go. This year, I think he's going to know where to go.
So question, Phil. Well, it's something that Phil said. The reason why they brought him here. Now, isn't the reason why to bring everybody is to play But I guess the question mostly is
It's not. Can
do
I
you think
address
the
that real
reason
quick?
why, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So yes, you bring everybody into play, but my point is these are supposed to be them two dogs at corner. You know what I'm saying? Like Travis Hunter is supposed to be the second coming of prime, And Kamani McClain is supposed to be something we ain't seen ever. You know what I'm saying? With his long and linky, you know what I'm saying, bill, but he's still willing to try to go down and hit somebody. He recruited the top two cornerbacks back to back. This is the whole reason why you brought Kamani in, is to have that other shutdown corner. That's what I mean by that. Not just to play, but like this is the beginning of something special. If you had them two out there at the same time.
Can I say
So,
something to
so,
Phil? What
so
Phil
you're
said?
more. It sounds like you're more hopeful than you sound confident, Phil. You're more
I mean,
hopeful. In your language, you sound more hopeful.
it is possible that Cooper still beats him out because of Murray and Cooper, you know what I'm saying? He started the season. So, like, why wouldn't he still be able to be out there? You know, so I'm not saying that it's a given that Carmine is going to be out there, but I really feel like this is the culmination of everything that you've been wanting if you're a CU fan. Because at the very least, you got your guys on the side shutting down both corners. If you got the right lineman that can get after the quarterback, you know the safeties are going to be good with Shiloh back there. So
Yeah.
what else you need as far as the defense is concerned?
I mean, I think as CU fan, you want to win. That's what we want. We don't care
I
why the
hope.
brother
I
got
hope
in.
that's all that matters. I hope.
I can I can care less why the brother got in. If he doesn't pan out in the first or second year, it's okay. Let him grow. But I'm not stuck on put him in because this is why we brought him in. So Tim, go ahead before I bring on East Coast Calf. Tim, go ahead and what did you want to say?
I was just gonna say, like, kind of piggybacking off what you just said. Even though Travis is actually the guy that um supposed to be better than Dion. I feel like Carmani could be a shadow of Dion, but the difference between bringing in like Jordan Seaton, I think it's a mind thing. Jordan Seaton mentally is ahead of his time. I feel like Carmani, the only thing that set him back is his maturity level. That's it.
So let's bring on East Coast Calf. And East Coast Calf, I'm bringing you on. I want you to talk about that development. Is Jordan Seaton ahead of Cormani's development at this point when he came to Colorado? Welcome to the show, East Coast Calf. Thank you so much for calling in, brother. I appreciate you.
What's going on, chat? Panel, how you doing? What's going on,
All
everybody?
is well. All is
Good.
well,
Peace,
brother.
peace.
Hey, real quick, I just want to backpedal to that quarterback situation. 2 seconds. I think that
Okay.
goes to Walter Taylor. 6'7", 230 pounds. Lefty. I think he's got that job next. Then it's gonna be Dustin Wade if he decides to stay. But
Hold on. Who did you say? I'm sorry. Who did you say?
Walter Taylor.
Oh, Walter Taylor. He's in the room.
I think he's next up. I think he's
You seen the film?
huh?
You seen the film?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he's next up. Then it's going to be Destin Wade behind him as the backup. If he decides to stay or whatever. And as far as the corners, I think DJ McKinney got
Don't
that
get off
lock.
of that. Don't get off of that yet. So you believe that we got a room? Because when I say room, I mean like the next guy up type of depth. We got DEPTH.
For the QBs,
you believe we have a quarterback's room?
in my opinion, yes, absolutely. I think
Okay.
what's missing, I'd love to have an extra D tackle. I like to have an extra one of those.
What do you mean D tackle? I'm saying quarterback room.
No, I'm saying yeah, but you asked the question before. What room do you think could still use some improvement? I think we could use an extra D tackle. That wouldn't
Okay,
hurt.
I don't want you to jump around. I'm sticking you to this quarterback's room real quick. I'll come back to your question. I'll get your opinion on which room you think is best or which room needs needs help. But you're confident in Colorado's quarterback's room, like as far as we have the next guy up can play and you'll be confident in the next guy up.
I'm very confident. I think it's Walter Taylor. Then it's Destin Wade. We got Ryan Staub still. I'm pretty confident, and I think there's another one coming in from high school that's gonna coming in the 2025 class, if I'm not mistaken. So I think I'm very confident in the room, and of course Shador.
Okay,
But
so
let's just say he's leaving.
What about the tape that made you confident to choose him as QB2? Like
He got
what did
he,
you
he
see
got
in
an
the tape?
arm. Well, he got an arm. He gives me that Donovan McNabb thing, but little Michael
Okay.
Vick, because he got an arm and he can run too. I think he runs better than Shador.
Okay.
I
All
agree.
right. So okay. So all right. So now we got somebody on the panel that thinks that our quarterback's room is we got a room. All right. We got a room, not just one guy. Because I like our quarterback. I like our quarterback, right? If I was to sell Colorado, I would sell Colorado on our quarterbacks or our
Yeah.
quarterback, right?
Yep.
That would be my
Yeah.
biggest selling point. The fact
Right.
that I feel like I don't know that there's any team in the Big 12 that has a better quarterback than we do. So, and usually, like when you have a good quarterback, that's where your team kind of like goes. So let's bring on Ron, and then I'll continue the conversation. I'll go down the line and I'll ask y'all since we got more people on the panel now. What is your favorite room? And we'll go back to that conversation. But Ron, take something prick your ear. You are ready to come onto the show and tell us who we are and who we're not. Thank you for coming on the show, brother. I appreciate you.
Well, I just wanted to congratulate you for giving everyone an opportunity to tickle your feather, Harry, because I know you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going because I know that you are a closet. You are the #1 fan for Kamani McLean, starting and being that other shutdown cornerback. You know that's what he's going to do. That has been your man since that kid was in the 11th grade, probably.
Oh
And
man.
now that he's at CU, it's a dream come true for you, Harry B, because you are the
Yo,
#1 Kamani McLean fan.
hey Ron, anytime I want to get you on the show, all I gotta do is just say Komani and you'll come running.
No fly zone, baby.
Oh my gosh, yo. Ron went away. Okay, so what happened to the panel? People just dropped off. Oh my gosh. So all right, so which room needs the we're continuing the conversation about the cornerbacks. We want the conversation to go, but which room, since the other guy just kind of disappeared, which room has the most room for adjustment? Which room do we have that has the most room for adjustment? I would say the most room. Obviously, the team needs help, right? But which room needs the most addressing right now? Go ahead, Tennis.
I was thinking, let's see. I think we have a pretty solid group of guys in there right now. So if I was to go to one room, let's see. That's kind of a tough one for me right now. Let me think about that. Go to somebody else. Let me think about that because I'm not
All right,
familiar with all of the room. So it's
let me
hard
go to
for me to
Ron
say.
Tate, and then Ron would jot your memory real quick. Ron Tate, which room is the room that you feel like needs the most addressing right now?
As I was saying, I think someone pulled the plug on me. The inside linebackers.
Oh,
The
okay.
linebacker.
Okay,
The
so
linebackers.
you and I are in agreement that the linebackers room is probably the most
Yes.
needs the most address. Okay.
Yes.
But why are you specifically going to the inside linebackers though? As opposed to the outside?
Because I've seen I know Bentley works hard. I know they love him,
He's
but
like,
I've
I like
seen it.
Bentley.
I said no. I like Bentley as a person, but I just think last year he was just fitting in the wrong gap from my vision, and he wasn't tracking the runner very well, the running back very well.
Do you think he has a football IQ problem? I'm sorry for asking that question.
I
Do you
don't.
think his IQ?
I don't.
Okay, so it's not IQ. What do you think it is then?
Ability.
Oh, you think it's ability? I'm
Ability.
thinking IQ.
No, it's not IQ. The kid is smart. But then
Okay.
again, hey, listen. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off on going off the cliff with him, with him because he did have some issues in front of him. We'll see how he does with this great defensive line that we have this year.
Let me explain this so that people don't get me wrong, because I think I want to go into this. I want to go a little further into that question. The idea when I watch the Buffing Prime guys and they're breaking down tape, they're helping me to understand the zone readings and stuff like that. And now I feel like that's why I'm able to ask this question. IQ is, when I say IQ, what I mean is like when you're like, for those of you who don't watch the channel, they help me to understand wherever your helmet is, that's where your body's gonna go. That's where you're gonna go. And you have to be well enough. You gotta know, and your IQ had to be high enough that if something's happening over here, whether it's your play or not, you can help the team by knowing what's going on and being able to make the right play. So that's why I say IQ. So the whole idea of IQ is, if the person has the ability, if they can tackle, they're strong enough, they can run fast, but the IQ is not there, that's going to be indicative of the decisions that they make on each play. So that's why I say, do you think that he had an IQ problem? Because I don't see that he has a strength problem. I feel like it's IQ, because that's usually what's missing. Them knowing what this, like being able to make fast decisions on certain plays. I don't know that he has an issue with tackling or not being able to not being strong enough or fast enough. I feel like
Hey, who
IQ.
background is that?
I'm
I
not sure
think
because
that's
I ain't got nothing going on in the background. No, I don't even have it. I'm sitting in the room quiet by myself,
Oh, really?
and I got
So
headphones
Harry,
on. Yeah.
so Harry, when you say IQ, IQ actually means a person's intelligence. Is he intelligent
No.
enough?
I'm not talking about intelligence.
Just
But
I'm
that's what
say
IQ means.
football. Hey, Harry, say football acumen. Because if you say IQ, black folks don't like saying that somebody else IQ ain't where it should be. They don't like doing it. So just say football acumen.
Football acumen or IQ is on field of knowing like what is going on and being able to make those decisions fast enough to be able to make the play. Not that you're outside of football, you're not smart enough. He's smart. I'm not saying he's not smart, but like I would say the person that I've seen on tape that has the IQ that I feel most confident with is Shador and who else? And Chittle and Shador are the highest IQ football people that I've seen as far as tape is concerned. They have the highest football IQ. That's what I mean. So hopefully that, I don't know how else to explain it. Hopefully that makes sense. That makes sense to y'all.
Well, if you watch Bentley from last year, some of his last games last year, you could see him see the play. He either couldn't get there or he didn't get there in time. So he would see it, but again, I'm going to wait and hold off and see how he does with this defensive line this year, because I right now I don't see anyone playing ahead of him, unless one of those guys that was hurt that played inside shows up this year. But I can't see anyone starting ahead of him right now.
I do.
Name it.
Who do you see? Yeah, name the person.
I think his last name is Wester, that came from FAU or FIU.
It was FIU.
FIU. I like him
Is
as
he
inside
inside?
linebacker. Inside linebacker. Why I say that? It's because of his instincts. Because of his
That's
speed.
not
Yeah,
IQ.
you are IQ. Because of his football. I'm gonna use the word. I know you don't want me to use the field, but I'm gonna use it on Harry's behalf. Uh, football. His football IQ is incredible, and I feel like I would like to see Bentley maybe on the outside and have him on the inside. No, he's not as big as Bentley, but his football IQ, if you go back and look at some of his films, how quick he fills gaps, how he has an understanding of protecting the edge, coming downhill. He's just an athlete, man. So I really like that kid at inside linebacker. And you
Is
got
he
to
on
go
your
back and
screen?
watch. Let me see.
Is it okay? So this is the guy from You talking about Nikhil Weber or Webb Walker?
Yeah, he has a brother on the team as well, I think. Not Wade.
Uh, hold on.
He came
What you
from
talking about?
FIU.
Okay,
Hey
maybe
Harry,
he could.
he came from FAU. His name is Jalen
FAU.
Wester. Jalen Wester.
That's his
Oh,
name, Jalen Wester. I
okay,
like
so
him.
Jalen Westbrook, but he doesn't have like his tape is not that like. I think when he came in, I don't know if I did this graphic before he came in or before he was added, but I think I don't know that he had the tape for me to put him on this list though, like the record like from last year. Did he play much last year?
Yeah, I think this is when you made the list before everybody was coming in because I remember doing some shows and we were getting alerts as we were doing the show about people signing. So I think this might have been prior to the official roster coming out.
Oh, okay, but you're bullish on Wester, and you think that he's good, Tim.
Yes, I think he's good. And if you go back to guys with the channel that be breaking down film,
Mm-hmm.
they actually broke down his film I think a couple of days ago, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about if you go over there and watch it in your
You
spare
talking about
time.
T-Cal?
Huh?
T-Cal, right?
Yes.
I like the way he break it down. We're not missing anybody else, any other thing, but you watch him too, I think, Harry. Yeah, T-Cal does a really, really good job of breaking it down. Shows the difference between the gaps and where a play person should go, where he didn't go. And this guy that he
Exactly.
was actually showcasing was the middle. I think he was the middle linebacker, and he was So yeah, I think
He was the middle linebacker.
Yeah, the
yeah,
channel
yeah.
for those of you who are watching the channel is called Buffed or Buff in Prime. So
Uh-huh.
I always like to big up somebody channels that are doing a good job for at least for this the fan base and the community. So if you want, you can go to the channel and you can subscribe to them. They do a really good job in breaking down film, and that's their lane. So I like the fact that they are here because they help me to learn a lot about the different things, and they've actually increased my knowledge about the different zones and the different gaps and stuff like that. So Buff in Prime is the channel. And thank you, Alpha S Bengura. Thank you for putting that up there in the chat. So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, okay. So Ron, what did you tell me your best room yet? What is your best room, Ron?
My best room is the defensive line.
Okay, tell me why.
I think we have uh, with the gentlemen the guys that we brought in, and some of the returning guys I hear that are doing pretty good, uh, are doing much better than they were last year at this time. The ones that were there, I think we're going to have a solid defensive line. I really do. I mean,
So
I
do you have a favorite player
with
on that line?
oh, you
My
know who
favorite
it
player on
is.
that line would be Cheto. My favorite player on the line, my favorite Colorado player right now, besides the legacy people that were there before they came, Cheto is my favorite player, and not just because he's Nigerian. I'm not
Oh,
Nigerian.
I was gonna say
Not just
that's
because
my
he's
favorite.
African.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite guy, Harry. Your cousin. You know, you sent me the email, man. That's your cousin. You know, I'm gonna look out for him.
No. Be serious. Is that your favorite player for real?
He is one of my favorite players. He is.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I
He
like
is one.
Cheto, man. I don't know why I like him. I just like his attitude. He seemed humble, but he's a monster. Like monsters are not supposed to be humble, but he just seemed like a monstrosity. But he's humble. But I got a question, and please don't take this as hating, right? I got a question. I know he's going to make the
Oh
NFL,
Lord.
but what about his size? Do you like he's on the defensive line, right? And what about his size? Do you see as a I don't know the size of D linemen in the NFL, but are you afraid that they might change his position when he gets to the NFL?
No, they'll keep him in the defensive line, maybe over the nose more, depending on the the defensive coordinator, but it's his arm length. His size is fine. He can handle it with the size, but he has short arms, and
Okay.
he would have to make up that physical
He's
detriment
very strong
with
too. He's
he's
crazy
extremely
strong.
strong,
Right.
and with quickness he would have to be quick, and he definitely his football IQ has to be off the chart in order for
It's
him to be
crazy.
able to do some things he won't be able to do just because his arms are not long enough. But
I like him.
I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a monster. I think he reminds everyone of Aaron Donald. I've heard a couple of people mention Aaron Donald, and I like him because he reminds me of that, having that nastiness.
Yeah. Okay, he went away. Phil, what's your question about Chittle?
No, I had a comment. So I was thinking about this. I was looking at a little bit of his film maybe a week ago, and I noticed that he was getting double teamed a lot, right? And I think
Right.
that is going to be his value to this team this year. If he can actually command double teams and prevent those guys from getting to the next level, and whoever their inside linebacker is going to be, that's going to be his value to the team. Now, if he's not getting double teamed and he's getting his butt whipped one on one, then I think those questions about his height are going
I
to
don't see
come
that
into
happening.
play. Like,
I don't see that.
say that
I
again.
don't see that happening. I don't see that happening as far as him like being beat. Like the dude is the strongest person in college football. Like the way that he feels and the way that he looks, that dude is crazy strong. And then he's on the D line at 5'11". 5'11".
Right. No, and no, I got you. But all I'm saying is his value is going to be getting those double teams. And if he does have a chance to go one on one with somebody, he's got to get back there to the quarterback so he can start back getting those double teams. Now, look, let's be honest. Going to the Big 12, there is going to be tougher competition. So I think you will see coaches that are willing to say, no, man for man, I think my guy's better than him. I think every coach should feel that way about their player. So there will be some situations where he's going to go one on one. And if he does get that opportunity, that's when he's got to shine.
Yo, I don't know. I'm telling everybody in the chat right now, if you're watching this video, even after the live, watch out for that Nigerian nightmare. That kid with the every now and then he has gold hair, then he gets rid of the gold hair. I don't know what he's doing with his hair. He's gonna have problems with his head. I'm telling you right now, because I had gold. I put gold on my sideburns, and I'm still feeling it years after. Like that chemical is no good. I'm just gonna tell you right now, the chemical we use to make our hair do different things, different colors, is not good for your skin. But anyways, but I like. I want to stay on this Chittle thing real quick because I feel like he explains or he exudes that confidence and that IQ that I'm talking about, where I know guys have ability, but ability alone is not enough. I think IQ has to play a strong part, and the fact that the Buff in Prime was able to explain to me what football IQ or how football IQ can affect the way that even your own teammates play. They gave me that confidence to understand now. Now I know that there are a few guys that have the ability on our team, but now I question their football IQ. Let me make sure I'll let you know their football IQ, because it's the IQ that separates the dogs from the guys that just have ability. What do you guys think about that statement? And please understand what I'm saying before you come for me. I just want to let you know that IQ plays a major part in you being a dog.
Hey, I can give you an example real quick, Harry.
Yeah.
I would say Travis Hunter. His IQ.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
And what he did in the last season against USC, or the first game of the season, inside the red zone in TCU, that's all football IQ.
Right.
Versus a Comani McLean, he wouldn't be able to do that just yet. I feel like he would get there. So
That's good.
that would be
This
my
is good.
comparisons of football IQ.
And Ron, and this is probably the best way that I can explain why I feel the way I feel about Cormani, because I feel like he has ability. Cormani is lengthy, like Willie said. Cormani is lengthy. He has the size. He can play. But when it comes to like D1, like the pace of this game at this level, I feel like his IQ wasn't there yet. But it's not that he can't play, but just knowing how to read what's behind the curtain. I feel like that football acumen, that hasn't been developed to that point yet. And that's why he hasn't. I don't. That's why I believe he's not going to be a starter this year either. He's going to get a lot more play time this year, but I think when you have somebody like Travis Hunter and the other guys, helping you to come up, that's going to help you to get better. And I think year 3 is going to be his breakout year. Next year is going to be his breakout year because he needs to develop that football acumen. That part is what a lot of guys on our team's missing. You can see clearly that they got ability. They can hang with anybody, but then when it comes to IQ, and I'll give you another example. What's that wide receiver name? That he's in that famous clip where he's pushing down Cooper, where he's running, like, what's his name? He's like 6'4". Can y'all help me out? What's that wide receiver name?
Who did he play for?
No, Colorado. He played for us.
He's going pro already. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about
Weaver?
No, not Weaver. He's still on our
number
team.
4. You're talking about number 4.
Number
Miller?
4.
Miller?
No.
Antonio,
yeah.
Antonio.
Antonio, I feel like the one thing that his game is missing is that football IQ or acumen. Javon Antonio. I feel like he's such a big specimen, right? He's such a Gronkowski type of build. But I feel like he's missing that one thing where I don't know if it was him that somebody was like, I don't know if it was Shador. Shador was like, yo, bro, when you catch the ball, why do you fall down every time you catch the ball? I don't know if it was him. Maybe I'm getting this wrong, but I feel like that part of his game is what's missing. You see what I'm saying? So it's like something has to happen for you to understand, like, okay, what is this guy missing and why? He's a good player. He has ability. He's strong. He can run. He can catch. But it's like that one thing that's holding back their game, and that's that football. The best way that I can explain it today on today's show, okay, guys? I'm just going to stick on
Harry,
that.
Look, Harry, you either have it or you don't. We know that Travis Hunter, he is him. He has it. He has that. He's very smart. Huh?
Can you learn it?
Well, you got to remember the reason they got him at CU and he was at Jackson State, because he was very smart in high school. So I think he learned it as he played more. He had more playing time. That's why he was able to go both ways, because he's mastered the art of receiving. Because remember when he first came to Jackson State, he was working on receiving routes, even though he had played receiver. He had guarded receivers. Now he's playing the actual position. So you either have this or you don't. If we had 12 Travis Hunters on our team, you talk about domination, because they all be getting in each other's way, okay? Because they all be that good. So, we do have a very smart team, and at some point, that intelligence or that IQ will be displayed depending on the positions that they're put in. Okay, does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Whatever position.
I want to comment on in regards to that with Kamani.
Yeah.
Last year he came in during the summer. This year he's had an entire year almost. No, not quite an entire year, but he's been able to spend the off season and all during the pre-spring workout and the spring workout this year. So I think he's had a lot of time. He's had a season and now some off season to learn, to watch and learn from Travis. And I think, even though it's not publicized, I think they do have a relationship, a kind of kinship, because they're both 5-star. They're both talented, but you have one a little ahead of the other. and I think Camardi uh, will be much better this year because of his experience of playing with Travis Hunter.
So then, Ron, I got a question for you. Then, based on what Willie just said, you either have it or you don't, right? And then also, like we see Dylan Edwards. We saw Dylan Edwards and how well he advanced, and then we see Jordan Seaton now how well he's doing. Like when you see him in the well loved videos and how he's taking on what's his name, Benson. He's taking on other guys. Do you think like Kwamani either does he not have it, or is do you have it or you don't, or could it be learned in that sense?
Yes. Hey, studying the film and learning that aspect, either you have the athletic ability or you don't. There's no question about his ability.
Exactly.
It's his increasing his football IQ to the point where he can affect a quarterback or trick a quarterback or trick a coach by his lining up or his movement in the middle of a play, like Travis did a couple times last year. That's football IQ, and that's studying the opponent.
So either Tim or Willie, either okay, Phil, you can take this question first, and then you can give me your thoughts. But so are we saying in the DNA of a dog, right? In the DNA of a dog, you either have the physical ability to be able to do what you need to do to play the game at the elite level, at a prime level, or or okay, so you either have that or you don't. Now, are we saying in that same light that the football acumen, that the IQ in that DNA could be learned to get you on that next level of a dog, or does IQ and physical ability go hand in hand? Phil, you can take that first. Then I want to hear from the other panel.
Well, if you're talking about a dog, if you're talking about a generational talent, I think it all comes together. It is just in who they are. They don't have to necessarily study the game because the game is just one with them. It's almost like Bruce Lee talking about being water.
You think IQ
it goes hand
and
in hand.
physical ability are one and the same?
No, when it comes to those dogs, I think they are the complete package. That's why if maybe when somebody gets
not a dog, then.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he has the football IQ. I think he's just a really talented player that is going to be able to get on the field because of his talent. I don't even know if he has the drive to want to increase his football acumen, because we saw last year Deion had to get on to him about not studying. So I think he's just give me the ball and get out there and play. That's how I feel right now until I see otherwise.
Yeah.
Come on, Phil.
But I still think he's a great player.
Yeah, Harry. Don't throw salt on that young man. It's just year one, man. Generational talents. It's only select a few.
That's right.
But I think Camardi has what it takes to be that. I'm gonna just put it this way, guys. I think that he has the ability to be that guy, and it'll probably start next year. Harry's giving him another year, but I think
I'm not arguing that. I just don't think he has the drive to want to learn and really study like that based off of what we saw last year. And if I see something this year, then my feelings will change.
Can I finish?
But do y'all understand this question? Do y'all understand this question though? I feel like something is pushing my spirit to just keep driving this, and I think this is the best way that I can explain the things that make who a dog is. Mm-hmm. The IQ part is a major part. Physical specimen, that's a whole nother part. You look at Unk, you know what I'm saying? You see he has that. You look at Gronk, he has that, right? But when it comes to putting the two together, I think that element is where it's missing in Cormani's game. And I think he has the ability now to develop that, learning from some good guys to understand that a part of it. But I don't think you can make up just being physically able to do the job. I think Cormani has that part of it. The acumen part is the part that he's learning. I think that part can be learned. I mean, tell me if I'm making if I'm missing that up. But I think he can learn that part, and that's going to make him that thing that we saw, that potential that we see that is not there yet. I think it's missing that acumen part. That's just my thought.
I agree with you, Harry.
So
I
then that
agree
could be
with you.
learned. So then
That can be. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to just drop the point home that in the development of what a dog is, a dog you can't teach. You either a dog or you're not. But I think now that I'm enlightened, right? Now that I'm enlightened, I feel like there are two elements to a dog. One is where they have the physical ability that we don't have, and then the second part is about the smartness of their decisions. You see what I'm saying? So that's where I think Cormani is. He already has the package. That's why you go under people like Deion Sanders or Warren Sapp or these people. You go under these people so that you can get that acumen part up to speed, and then you're unstoppable. But the ability is already there. He just needs that acumen part to get up to speed, and then he'll be there. That's go ahead, Tim. That's how I'm thinking about it today.
You there, Tim?
Are you still there, Tim? I think his audio is going.
Well, let me step up before my audio goes, if you don't mind, Harry B.
Go ahead.
I think you're 100% correct, and that's why you have those individuals that you may consider a bust in the NFL. They have the athletic ability, however, that they miss out on that IQ that they have to increase with experience and knowledge that they gain from playing the game and from coaching that they receive. Mm-hmm. They're not either receptive, they're not accepting it, or they just want to continue like in high school and in college, just rely on their athletic ability and not push it to that next level. And you look at Hall of Famers, I bet you 99.9% of those Hall of Famers have a high IQ. And let me tell you, John Hanna, an old running back, he's in the Hall of Fame from New England Patriots. Running behind John Hanna, leading on a sweep, I seen him throw a block with his left hand and stiff arm the defensive backs, one with his right hand and one with his left hand. Now, that's football IQ, not just throwing your body at a defender when I know I have the ability to do this and do this and to continue to lead the running back. That's football IQ. You learn that or you're taught that. And I think that's something that Travis had to learn early on at Jackson State, but he was smart enough to flip that script in his mind. Look, I'm here to learn. And he started sucking up everything that Coach Prime was putting out. And now he's like on automatic pilot. Just let me at it. And that's where the love of the game comes in, because you want to do everything in your physical and intellectual ability to be the best that you can. And that's a dog. And that's someone that loves the game.
Let me bring on Jay Well to join the conversation. If Jay Well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you. If you want to start here where we're talking about IQ and the separation of physical ability versus your acumens, this is where we at, and we can identify certain players that maybe have the physical ability but do not have the IQ. What says you?
Yeah, hey, what's going on, Harry? What's going on, fellas? Been a minute since I've been on here with you guys, so nice to be back on today. Yeah, football IQ definitely plays a part in who's actually going to be a dog or who's going to be a leader, who's going to be a team captain, whatever you might want to call it. Athleticism, definitely, like everybody has expressed, can only take you so far. A lot of guys in high school that make it to D1 level make it purely off of athleticism. And then I think that's why Cormani has had such a hard learning curve, is because he's made it purely off of athleticism. You look at a guy like Wester, like you guys were speaking about earlier, and watching his film breakdown on Buffed on Prime, that young man understands what his assignments are. He understands what everybody else's assignments are. So having that ability to have that IQ level to know that, well, I'm supposed to be in gap A and this guy's supposed to be in gap B, but understanding that, also watching the quarterback, how the quarterback moves, where he's looking or where he might anticipate that quarterback to go, he can make that proper adjustment to fill in a gap that may should have been filled up by someone else. So, a lot of people say, well, he needs to put on another 10 or 15 pounds. That in itself will help, but I don't think that it's going to make him any better. What's going to make him better is understanding the game. Understanding the game goes a long way. You look at like Travis Kelce. That's why I think Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes are the greatest at what they do right now, because Travis Kelce as a tight end is that's like having another quarterback on the field. He understands where the holes are at in the defense. He understands what it takes to get that extra first down. If it's 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 15, you need a first down. Travis Kelce is going to get it for you. And that's because he understands what the defense is doing. So, I'm sure Cormani will get to that point, but he's like everyone else has said, and like Coach Prime has said, you got to be able to study that film. There's more to football than just getting out in that field and running around and trying to hit everything that has the ball, or, and once those kids learn that and understand that, that's what's going to take them to another level. I think that's why Shador is such a great quarterback, because he understands the game of football. I mean, and that's why Dion said, or Coach Prime has said, they've called him grown ever since he was, a little kid, because that he's just ahead of his age. So I also think we've got a lot of sleepers that a lot of people aren't paying attention to. Brandon Davis Swain. I'm from Michigan. I watched that young man play all through high school. That young man will be a dog on the defense for Colorado. Trust and believe when I tell you that young man almost broke the sack record for the state of Michigan. So he's going to be an up and coming. Mekhi Welch, if you go and watch football, his film, that is a patient running back. That young man understands how to read the defense. He understands where his holes are at, what gaps he needs to go through. He doesn't just run up through that line, man. That young man, he kind of in a sense reminds me of a Barry Sanders, a young Barry Sanders. I know that's a reach for a lot of people, but if you go watch his film and just watch how he runs, he is a very, very patient running back. So we've got a lot of.
Let me say this also. Let me add to what you said earlier about the gaps, like the schemes and the gaps, and why I still have this comment painted. King P 24/7, thank you for the comment. But another thing to go a little further into this whole IQ thing, it's one thing to understand the gap and what your players or what your teammates are doing, but also when you understand it, and then when it breaks up, knowing if you understand it when it breaks up, then you will know what to do. And if your teammate, the guy that's next to you, when that person misses their gaps, how you can help them. So that's what a valuable player with a high IQ does or brings to your team. And I encourage you guys to go to Buff in Prime and go watch Chido's video that they made.
Hey, Harry.
Yes.
Harry, to add to what you're saying.
I'm not done. I don't want to forget what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So if you watch that video, like when his players or when his teammates, when they miss their assignments, what he does to make up for their lack is incredible. Like when you have a player that does understand the game, that does watch tape, they are a value to your team, where they're just not depending on how much they can run, or when you see the individual drills where they're burning people, but then you never see them in the game. This is explaining some of the reasons why they don't get in the game, because the coach can't trust them. You're just looking at them burning people and catching passes. And when somebody like a Tavares, Dawson, when they leave the team and we're upset, this gives you a better understanding of what happens when you do watch tape and you understand the gap in your assignment. What happens when your teammate misses their assignment? How do you adjust? This is the importance of the IQ that I'm trying to explain. But go ahead.
Okay. Hey, here's what. While you guys were talking, I'm listening. I was thinking about another position. Let's look at the wide receiver. You need 10 yards to get a first down. You run 9 yards. Well, you're probably thinking, well, if I go 9 yards, I could probably fake the guy out and go for it. What if he's a good DB and know how to stop you? But if you got a 10-yard route and you run 9 yards, I mean, the IQ level say, look, run the 10-yard route, and you you got it. So I think that kind of like plays into, smart players, who's smart on, who has the ability, to pull that off. But I think it varies also with each position. Each player in his position will have a certain IQ about what it is he's supposed to do. I was listening at one of the linemen, one of the guys from Houston. He was talking to one of the guys. He said, "Well, you haven't seen nothing yet. Wait till he see what I'm going to do." Yeah, he's very well disciplined, but he's got some little tricks that he used. He's talking about the level of his IQ. Well, if I do this, my man will probably do this. So that means I'm going to do this. And all of that happens in nanoseconds because you had the IQ to do that.
That's a great point that you just made. Let me ask Jay Will, what is the room that you are most bullish on for the team? And then in the same breath, what is the room that you think needs the most work? It's been a while. You haven't been around for a while, so let me ask you this question.
Like I said earlier in the chat when you first came on, I mean, I'm pretty much on board with everybody else when it comes to the wide receiver room. I mean, we're pretty deep with top tier talent there. I mean, we still got guys that aren't even on campus yet. So, I mean, that's going to be a dogfight to see who they're going to have as starters. As far as the next room that I think needs improvement on.
So you're on record for saying like all rooms are great?
No. The wide receiver room is what I feel we are. I don't think we really need any other help over there. I mean, we've got some good guys in that room. And like I said before, we've got other guys that still haven't even come there yet. We've got Baby T.O. We've got Will Shepard that's still got to come. The young man from high school that Coach Prime was talking about. I don't know that young man's name, but that is going to be coming over there. And then not to mention, I'm sorry.
The young man from Texas, he's in the middle of a basketball season.
Yeah.
Well, they just won the national championship.
Right. And so, we've got a lot of good talent in that room. So I'm not worried at all when it comes to the wide receiver group. And I think, too, to kind of piggyback off that, a lot of those guys know how to play both sides of the ball. I think a lot of people are kind of forgetting that as well. Coach Prime's grabbing a lot of guys that could play on both sides. So when you have the ability to pull one guy from one, and what's the young man that committed? Is it Cam McHale?
Recently?
Yeah, for the class of 2024. I think it was. I'm sorry.
Both ways. Cam McHale from Georgia.
Right, but he said he's deciding he wants to play wide receiver this year, going into Colorado for his first season. That guy, like I said, he could possibly be another Travis Hunter. I mean, that guy is elite. When it comes to most improvement, I think we're gonna. For me personally, I would have to say definitely the linebackers. We've got Wester. Um, I mean, I don't want to speak too much on, we've got BJ Green coming over from Arizona. But
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
yeah. BJ Green's not even in the house yet.
no, he's not there yet. He's kind of got me a little iffy though after watching TCal on Buffed on Prime. Now, I typically don't watch film like that, but it's actually intriguing me more after watching what Colorado's doing and trying to understand these guys' positions and just looking at film study. Because that's one thing TCal said that a lot of people do is they hear a name and they see highlights, but they don't actually go and film study and see what these guys are doing. And he made a very valid point that film tells all. When you can watch film and see what these guys are doing when people aren't watching or when they don't think people are watching, that's huge. So BJ Green, I'm hoping that when he gets over to Colorado, it's kind of that saying everybody's been saying, still sharpen steel. It'll push him to that next level. And so, I do think that the linebacker group is where we're going to need some more help with. Now, somebody, I don't know if it was on here or somewhere else, somebody made the comment of, well, they're not too concerned with the linebacker room simply because if the defensive line is picking up where we think they're going to be or what we expect them to be, then we should need that high caliber type linebacker out there. So, but that's my pick. I think the linebacker room definitely needs some more help. I know we've got what is that? Cage Goldberg. He's coming over. I do feel like he's going to be a sleeper. I think a lot of people have overlooked him. Goldberg played with Dion back in the day and was a hell of a ball player from what I understand. But I've looked at some of the film for Cage, and he understands. He's got that IQ as well. Definitely a dog. If you go watch some of his film, you'll be highly impressed with what that young man can do when he gets over to Colorado. So it's definitely going to be an interesting season coming up.
So guys, if you are watching this video and you are watching either post live or you're watching post live or you're watching live, one thing I want you to take away from that kind of like hit me like a brick is that the separation of talent versus IQ, football IQ, not necessarily that you're smart, you make bad decisions in life, but your football IQ. I want everybody to take that away from this show. Is that we use often we're looking at guys that have ability, physical ability, but they're missing that IQ. And now I'm excited to even like watch guys' films and see who has the IQ, whether they are a popular name or a hot topic or whatever. Now I want to know, do they have the IQ? Because the IQ is that extra sauce that lets you know that if something breaks up, this guy's going to know what to do. If something happens and this guy misses his read, this player is going to know exactly how to make that adjustment to help his team win. So if he's not a selfish player, it's just a guy that understands the team and what they're trying to do in every package, every single package. Like they are a nerd, they are a geek. They study every package. When the coach puts out the playbook, they're in that playbook. They're not on the phone, sleeping on the phone with their girl like we used to do back in the day. They're actually nerds and they're reading that playbook so they can understand, like, oh, okay, this is what this package is doing. Because we don't have time to be teaching while the game is going on. When we say we're calling X package, you need to understand what each player is doing in that package. Every single player. What is this player that's next to me or the guy that's even two lines down from me? What is he doing or thinking in this package, and how is he going to affect us on this play? So I want everybody to take that away from this. And now I want to ask you guys.
Hey Harry, can I say one more thing on that? Which
Go ahead.
and when you brought up Buffed in Prime, I had seen those guys a couple of times. I hadn't really went and watched them, but I remember you had brought them up, so I went and subscribed to their channel and was getting quite a few hits, notifications. Now, one thing that really, really made kind of wowed me, it was a huge wow factor for me because some of us are in here, you know, we're talking about strength and athleticism and how strong these players are. And strength is great, but watching Wester's films study, and one thing T-Cal pointed out, which I had to go back and watch it multiple times, was understanding body placement. Wester understands that, you know, and the reason I say that is because a lot of people are like, well, he's a small linebacker. He's only 200 pounds. He's not an in the box linebacker. And T-Cal like proved everybody wrong on that by saying, watch what this young man does. He was going around 300-pound offensive linemen like they were nothing. And that was because he understood body placement. And that goes hand in hand with what you're talking about, football IQ. It's also more than just understanding the playbook and understanding what everybody else is supposed to be doing. There's so much more to it than just that, you know, and seeing if you guys get a chance, go watch that footage and watch how that young man was able to dip his shoulder and place his body in a position to where the lineman had less leverage on him, so he wasn't able to block him. And he made a play that he wasn't even supposed to actually make. So just watching that footage, it was amazing to see the true meaning of football IQ and watching all the things that entail of that. So I just had to say that before you skipped off.
That's cool. That's cool. But the Texas Truth says, Harry B, have you not heard of football for crazy people? You think IQ is that important? It's not. Film. Don't equal IQ. I don't know if you're not getting exactly what I'm saying. I think this is Coach Prime talks about this. When you're watching film, when you study, when you read the playbook, because I think what Coach Prime is always trying to push is that guys understand. He understands that when you're recruited for D1, you're recruited mostly for your physical ability. They see you in high school, because what happens in high school is that, you know, I don't know that a whole lot of IQ stuff is happening in high school. Basically, beat the other guy. Okay, in high school, you can run faster, you can catch the ball, you can do a whole lot of things. But when it comes to D1 and it comes to going to that next level, that's where guys understand scheme. That's where guys understand packages, and that's where they make the difference. So that, because you see a lot of guys who has the physical ability, and they will come to D1 level, and they just don't know. They just don't fit, or something just doesn't click. And how do you explain that? How do you explain somebody who dominated in high school all their life, and then they get to that next level and they don't understand, and you don't understand why they just don't work? It's because of that next thing. Football is more, just like Jay Will was just saying, football is more than just having physical ability. It's about understanding scheme, understanding the different gaps, A gap, B gap, understanding where your helmet needed to be. Some guys, they just don't care about practice. They don't care about watching tape. Coach Prime says, I'm good. I got to this place not because God blessed me with this physical ability. God did bless me, but it was his study. I said this in another show, and I've said this several times. Coach Prime prepares like nobody's business, and the reason why he's so boastful, the reason why he's such a person that can bash in his abilities is because of how he prepares. So, and his IQ is up there because he prepares so much. So to answer your question, the Texas Truth, IQ is that important because it helps you to help other people who may not be there. So hopefully that answers your question.
I agree with you on that, Harry, because even the more film you watch, it increases your ability it increases your IQ. We go back to Travis Hunter. How do you think he's so intelligent and so smart to where he watched a lot of film, but he's a very good athlete? So that increases the IQ rate. You see what I'm saying? So they kind of like work together. You can't throw the water out with the baby. You know, you got to keep something good in this whole thing. So I agree with you on that, Lou.
You give credit to IQ that they only know from film. Oh, okay, so basically the Texas Truth, you didn't get the whole point. I think I think I think you're not understanding the vast. We're trying to explain something. I'm not talking about, oh, you watch film, you get IQ. That's not. I hope you got more than just me saying watch film, get IQ. That's not what we're.
So
That's not what
are
we're
you
saying.
saying more the intangibles, like the intangibles? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think having football IQ is the intangibles, is understanding the gaps, understanding your reads, understanding the schemes, the packages that that your position coach is putting in, and you understand it to a point so much that you know it like the back of your hand, like some people say, where you know it so well that in any situation where you know that the human factor is going to happen, guys are going to miss their blocks, or your opponent is going to interrupt whatever you're trying to do. When that happens, which it happens often in football, when that happens, you gotta have the IQ to know how to adjust, how to make the adjustments. There are guys that have the ability, but they don't understand what's going on, and it's happening at such a fast pace. They don't understand what's going on because they don't take the time to really learn the game, and that they are more of a liability on next to you than they are helping you. Because if everybody were in sync, and if everybody understood the game at that higher level, then when things mess up, when things break up, which is inevitable that it happens, then you all know what adjustments to make. If the guy's helmet is in the B gap and it's supposed to be in the A gap, you know you either going to push him over, or you're going to do something to help him to get back to his gap, or you're going to adjust your gap to help him so that you two are not in the same gap. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. When you talk about the gap assignment, yeah.
Yeah. So that all plays into IQ. That whole thing plays into IQ, understanding the game at a much higher level than just saying, oh, I know football, I'm just gonna play. I'm gonna be one of the fastest guy on the field. And that's not how football is played. So I wanted to just make that point. So anybody else want to add a thought before I move on from there?
Hey, Harry, I was just gonna say real quick. Um, IMG Academy is a good example of exactly what you just stated. The
Mm-hmm.
physicality, the film breakdown, the IQ test. That's why they are heavily sought after by all these Power Five D1 schools because they come.
Your audio broke up. The
Thank you.
Texas Truth. The Texas Truth. You said Harvard. The fact that you're saying, tell me how Harvard football is doing, is telling me that you're not understanding the conversation. This has nothing to
Yeah,
do
he
with.
definitely ain't
Yeah,
understanding Harry. So I
yeah,
don't.
Yeah, he definitely somewhere else. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
So let's move on.
He
We're
over
gonna
in
move on
left
from
field,
there.
man.
Yeah, I'm not trying to laugh at you. I'm not trying to shame you or anything like that. But I feel like you're missing the conversation, and it's unfair that you're not locked in to the conversation. We're talking about football IQ. We're not talking about smarts. We're not talking about how smart you are. We're talking about football acumen. You
I think he just
understanding the.
being sarcastic. I think he just being sarcastic. You can just go on and move on, Harry.
Oh, okay,
Just
okay.
leave it be. Just leave
Yeah,
it be.
I hope you're not missing. I hope you're not missing it. He said, "Explain it." Then we took like an hour. We've been talking about this one thing for about an hour now. So there's no more explaining to it. It's just football acumen is football acumen, and hopefully you know. I don't know why you don't get it, but anyways, understanding
I
B gap.
think early, and real quick, if this is the same guy I seen in the chat, he made a comment about there are players that made it to a higher level and didn't have IQ. They just made it off of pure athleticism and things of that nature. So I don't know. I don't know where he's trying to go with that, but I mean, you have to have an understanding. Like you said, you've got to have some kind of understanding of the game. You can't just be out there running around thinking that you're going to be successful at a higher level. It might work in high school football, but it ain't going to work in
Right.
D1. It dang sure ain't going to work in the league. So
Right.
I
Like
agree.
like like
Definitely.
it's D1 football is a whole nother beast. And then because there's so many schemes, there's so many different things, like people who are getting paid for this, people whose jobs are on the line, their jobs is to like if you see the difference between a college playbook and a high school playbook, like you will be like, oh my gosh, because it's like there's so many things that are going on and it's happening so fast. When those people are doing those arm movements and they're doing all of these things, You either like if you don't understand what's going on with all of these things, it's just one thing that they're saying. They're communicating one thing and then they're doing that to confuse the opponent, to let you know to think that there's so much going on, but there's nothing going on. The people that understand it, they just know that he's saying one thing. so so that's another way to explain IQ is that there's so much going on, but to you, it's slowed down in your head because you already know what's going on. This guy's supposed to this guy next to me, the inside linebacker, his gap is A gap. So I'm supposed to, if he's in the A gap, two helmets could not be in the same gap, right? So if he goes to the A gap, if he messes up and goes to the B gap, then I understand that I have to adjust to either go to the C gap to give him the time to go to that, back up and let him continue his play and then go around him. Once you and I would suggest go watch Buff in Prime, all right, and watch the videos all the way through. Let these guys, they're doing a really good job. Go subscribe to them. They're really good for this community. Because a lot of the people in the community don't understand college football. They just kind of see people playing. So go watch their channel. They'll give you a different perspective. Obviously, my channel, I try my best to do what I can do in my lane. But yeah, but they are really like they dial into the actual gaps and schemes and stuff like that, and it makes you understand and appreciate the game in a whole nother way. So to finish off, guys, this episode of TRP Live, TRP Live, I want to ask you guys the current state of Colorado football, and then we can finish out the current state of Colorado football. What do I mean by the current state of Colorado football? Overall, now we said there's a few guys that are still not there. There are a few guys that are coming. How do we feel about the current state of Colorado football? And if we were to compare them to the rest of the Pac-12, just the overall feeling. Phil, how do you feel?
I'm sorry, repeat that last part.
Yeah, how do we feel about the current state of Colorado football overall? Where are we?
Oh,
and how?
Overall, man, I think I think Colorado is moving in the right direction. We can sit here and go back and forth over how many games they'll win, will they go to a bowl game, this, that, and the third. But I think everybody can agree the team has improved from last year. I think it also is going to help that they're going to a conference that is nowhere near as good as what the Pac-12 was last year. So the team is getting better. The conference isn't as good as it was last year. So things should shape up for a good season for Colorado. It's just a matter of, getting everybody safe and sound through the spring, having a good fall camp when the rest of the guys come in, and then figuring out your depth chart and who's going to start. And then once the season gets going, making sure people are staying healthy, making sure coaches are gelling like they're supposed to, no infighting between the coaches. And I think they'll have a good season.
I think I'm more confident this year about the coaching staff. I see Coach Prime really getting along with his former player. What his name is Harris. Coach Prime gets along pretty well with him. I need to see more movement with the new DC. I'm glad that they're kind of keeping him in the shadows, like keep him away. That's good. I like that. I think going low key this year is good. Because then it leaves more to curiosity. You know what I'm saying? But do you think that what do you think about we're going to be losing more players? Colorado's going to shed a little bit more weight because you got to keep thinking about 85 scholarships, right? What do you think about the fact that we just lost another Kent State player? That was Sean Lewis's guy. And where we are going, do y'all see more players leaving? I do, but I want to know your thought. Do y'all see more players leaving? And I think more players are going to leave, and we're not done getting rid of players yet because I feel like if we're really going to have a strong roster for the depth players, then we're going to have to shed more weight, and it's going to be at the, for the lack of a better term, the detriment of a good player. What are your thoughts on that?
I could say this, man. Hey, Harry, I'm the total optimist. Okay, I'm looking for CU to have a great season, win a lot of games, attitude of the team being great. Sure, we're gonna lose. We lose some people. I used to work with this guy, And when I would come in every morning, he said, "Little brother, I done seen them come and I done seen them go." And I would laugh at that every time. But I think we're gonna have some people. It's just the nature of the business. There's because we grow attached to these guys, man. We get close to them, and then to hear them leave, man, you say, "Oh man, you know what?" And everybody's speculating. Well, why did he leave? That ain't your business why he left. Stay in your lane, you know. Stay. You're a fan, you know. The guy left. They left for real. A lot of guys just, Coach Prime is a tough cookie, and they can see maybe the handwriting on the wall. He's not going to ask them to leave. He's not going to tell them to leave unless it's just a disciplinary um, piece of the puzzle or something like that. But most guys make up in their mind to do that, so that's part of the nature. But overall, man, I see CU, being a really really good football team this year. Like I told you, man, I'm the total optimist. So I'm
All right.
believing in. I drank the Kool-Aid. I even got a cup of it in the freezer right now.
You,
That
you
has prime
you
on
froze.
it.
You drank the Kool-Aid. You froze some for later. Tim,
I
I want
froze
to ask. Tim, I want to throw this question to you.
it.
I know we talked about our favorite rooms and we talked about which room needs a room,
Hmm.
which room has room to grow. But this is the tough question, and I want you to answer it in the best that you can. And I'll come
Hmm.
to you other guys too. Which good player you see leaving? Because somebody's gonna. I think a lot more players are gonna leave by the spring. Which player you think either needs to leave, is going to leave, and why?
Um,
And they could be a good player. Like, don't be afraid to say they're gonna leave.
oh no, trust me, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I feel like if Cormani McLean has another season where he get taken out, because he does one thing wrong, I think he's gonna jump in that portal. I feel like you got a lot of guys on the edge that's gonna be competing. I feel like one of them may go. I feel like a few guys may leave in that wide receiver room,
Mm.
because they're not able to see the field as much. Miller, for example, I feel like if he doesn't get uh he I feel like if he doesn't get his fair share of snaps and downs, then I feel like he would leave.
No, we're talking about this spring. Like right now, we're shedding weight. We're shedding weight
Yes,
right now.
that's
Okay,
what
so
I'm
you
talking
think by
about.
spring? Wait. So you're thinking by spring, Cormani may be gone?
If he doesn't, if he's feeling that he's not that next guy up to line up on the other side of Travis Hunter, you're gonna be able
So
to tell in the
you think
spring.
Cormani may be gone by spring?
And I if
Wow.
I I mean this is my personal thought, but I feel like if he's feeling, we already seen how last season played out. I just feel like if he feels that, okay, this is gonna be a rerun of last season, I'm gonna jump in the portal now.
Wow.
That's all.
That's a
That
strong one.
that
I wasn't thinking Cormani.
I
that's all.
I
That's all.
strangely agree. I strangely agree.
That's all I'm saying. But
I
now
did. I disagree.
I would say this, Harry, Coach
Mm-hmm.
Prime. Okay, the way that CU is heading, that NFL style of everything. Okay, Coach Prime stated in one of the well-off media clips not too long ago. He wants to know uh, who can help them win. So
Mm-hmm.
he's already looking at cutting, and that's the same formula that the NFL use. If you can't help us win, they'll ship you off.
Mm.
So I feel
Wow.
like some of those guys would leave. But as heavy as
Hey,
that wide receiver room is, I feel like a couple of those guys may jump ship.
hey, somebody in the
Mm.
chat, Tyree Harris is saying that Coach Prime said no starters in the spring. So I don't know how that's gonna work because clearly we know Travis is gonna start. Clearly we know Shador is gonna start. Clearly we know Shiloh is gonna start. So I don't know what that's going to
No,
benefit these guys if we don't know who's going to
that's a
start.
colloquial. That's a colloquial. Okay, let's just take Coach
Okay.
Prime at this point. Let's just take Coach Prime
Okay.
at this point as a colloquial. All right, because we also don't have no money in voters. Okay, so let's not let's not
No,
do that again. Somebody got to get on the field first.
right. But I will say I didn't think about it like that. But Tim, I do. I think Kermani might be over the BS with getting called out and getting coached hard, like he's getting.
Oh,
And
there you
I
go
think
again with
with
those words over the BS.
people have talked about him being immature, so maybe he can't handle it. And Miami got the bag. They were the number 2 team on his list. So there could be a situation where Kamani up and leave. I don't think he will, but the more Tim talks about it, I see the possibility in it.
Okay, I see y'all Kwamani, and I would say more realistically, Tyree Harris from WFU 17. I don't know what that means, but Trevor Woods is probably the most likely to leave. I think this is a plausible thing. I can see this. He's bullish on Colorado though, but I don't see a room where Trevor is in that linebackers. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Colorado football doesn't need Trevor Woods at linebacker. It doesn't make sense. So that makes a lot of sense. If I had a gong or I had a bell,
Hey,
this
Harry,
is probably
you just
the most.
said IQ though. You just said we just talked about IQ. Trevor Woods has IQ. He's a smart football player.
Yeah, but he's missing the physical ability part.
Harry,
that's true. That's true. That's
He's
true.
missing the
you're in
physical
trouble.
ability part.
I agree with that, Harry. I think. Yeah, he should be strong. He should be. Isn't he originally strong safety? Moved down the linebacker position.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had a need at linebacker. So I don't know why how we still got him at linebacker. He doesn't. The two things have to be married for you to be elite, right? He has the IQ. His IQ is out of here, but yet we're lacking that physical. Go get the ball. We're talking about linebacker here. We're not talking about one of these positions where you can take a day off or you can take a playoff. The linebackers cannot take a playoff.
What's the average weight? Anybody know what's the average weight of a middle linebacker? It seems like he may be playing middle linebacker. What we
normally like 210 to 230, give or take 210 to 230. That number has gone down recently.
Yeah, so Trevor's at what, about 220 or something like that?
Man, he looked like he looked 195, maybe 200 at best.
Trevor
That's what he looks like. I don't know, but exactly, he's not a linebacker. He shouldn't be playing at linebacker.
Right?
And
there's no way.
Yeah, so if he's still at linebacker when the season starts, that's a problem for Colorado.
It is.
He should be their third. He should be their third string safety and keep it moving.
For real, like Trevor Woods. I like Trevor Woods. I made 2 videos about Trevor Woods. I think he can play. Right. I told y'all that he was going to start, and he did start at safety. I saw that coming, but if anybody's going to leave, I think some more good players are going to leave, and some of the star names are going to leave. But y'all said Kwamani might leave, which I don't know. I don't see Kwamani leaving yet, but Trevor Woods makes the most sense. And then Rudy Wright said Omarion Miller and Cooper. I see that too. Like I see that too. Those are 2 names that I think could leave as well. I think we can shed that weight. If we shed that weight, I don't know that'll be detrimental to our team. Trevor Woods is 205 per CU page. Thank you, Phil. So Trevor Woods is 205 pounds. But Rudy, I think this is a good one as well. If I had a bell, I got to get a bell, guys. I got to get one of these like great ding, 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 ding. I think somebody made a good point bell. But this is a great point. I think Omarion Miller and Cooper, they could leave. We could shed that weight because these guys are what you call auxiliary players, and they're good. But again, the question on the board is, we're going to shed good players. Okay, that's the statement that we're dealing with right now. We're going to shed good players, but which good players do you think we're going to shed that are going to leave? We just got a starter that started 12 games. That was our long snapper left. That was a good player. All right. and then we got Jack Bailey who left. Those were good players that left. Now, Omarion Miller is a good player. Cooper is a good player. They might leave. Who else do y'all think is going to leave? Let me hear from you, Jay Will. Have we heard from you yet? I don't know. What player do you think is good that's going to leave? Did you already talk? I don't know.
No, I haven't really spoke on it at all. That's kind of a hard one. That's kind of a hard one.
This one is tough.
I mean,
because I think by spring, some more good players are going to leave. I think somebody said at least 10 players. I think at least 10 players are going to leave. So let me hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah. Golly, man. I hate putting names out there like that because I don't, you know, I don't want to see anybody have to leave, but you know, it's one of those things where I think that if they can make room, I mean, first, man, that's hard, Harry. I really can't say, man. I mean, because we've got a lot of guys in there that we don't even speak on that, you know, they could make room with those guys as opposed to being like a Cooper or a Miller. Cormani, I don't necessarily see Cormani leaving. The reason I say that is I think Cormani sees the bigger picture of the potential that he has staying at Colorado. I think that if Cormani sticks it out and has a good season this year, you know, he already pretty much knows he's going to have a guaranteed spot on that next year once Travis Hunter is gone. So I think he's going to soak up everything he can from Coach Prime and also from Travis. You know, we seen that last year. Travis tried to coach that young man up, even in some of the games when it got heated. He tried to pull him off to the side and get his mind back right again. So I don't see Cormani leaving. I think we need to give that young man a little more credit. I think he's kind of understanding, hey, it's more to it than just me. This is a team game. But as far as the other ones go, man, I don't even want to make that assumption because I just don't know. So I'll let everybody else speak, and if I feel like I can figure that one out, I'll come back to it.
So do you think that the Trevor Woods thing is plausible? Do you think that
I feel like Trevor Woods, and I'm just going to be honest, you guys, some people are going to have their feelings hurt, some are not. It is what it is. It's all a matter of opinion. But I personally feel that he may have that IQ ability, but to me, he's not not a true linebacker type talent. I think he probably fits better in that safety position. I just, from what I seen from the prior year, I mean, he made some good plays, but you know, when you have a linebacker, the linebacker typically is a captain of the defense. You know, he's the one that is kind of delegating what's going on in that secondary, so to speak. So we need somebody that is really understanding of that position. And I think that Woods is going to get pushed out by Wester. That's just my personal opinion. Wester to me is that he's that guy that we need in there in that box, delegating that defense, man. So between Chidozie, also, you know, we got a couple other guys that are on that defense that will definitely have some room for improvement. What's the Jamaican kid? I can't think of his name.
Nikhil
Webb. He's going to be a beast too. I think he's real raw, but I think once he gets somebody in there that can show him a little more of what it is he's supposed to be doing, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with as well. The cat from LSU.
Yeah, you know it's funny. You say he's raw, and guess what? When I watched the video on like Buff and Prime, that's what they said too. They said that he has room to improve.
Yeah,
and they said that he has the physical ability, but he's you know what I'm saying, he's still a little lost out there.
He's still a little lost, yeah. And I think that's where we were lacking last year, where if you look at our secondary, if you look at our linebacker, we were lost. A lot of it was just out there kind of running around in space, didn't have an idea of what we were doing. But I think this season we're going to see a huge improvement because we've got some guys out there that understand the game and understand what it is they need to be doing. And when you have those kind of guys that have that ability that can delegate, everything else is just going to line up. Chidozie, I don't care what anybody say. That guy is a monster. I think we've all agreed on that. I don't see that guy having a bad season at all coming up. I mean, that guy is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, but when it comes to Woods, I think that he's gonna get bumped out of that linebacker position. That's hands down. And if that's gonna be the straw that breaks the camel's back for him to end up leaving, come this spring, then I mean, I'm like you said, it's a business, man. That's what it is. They're there to win. They're not there to try to please everyone. He's there to win. So we'll see. We'll see. But I don't want to speak on nobody else. I'll let y'all have that one, man.
Here's what I've seen happen, even with CU. And obviously, somebody on that coaching staff knows something that we all don't know right here. Okay? To bring his name up as linebacker. There's something, so they're seeing something. Number two is that I've seen coaches make changes. Like one of the guys that played for Jackson State. He went from inside linebacker. They put him to the outside. He got picked up. I can't think of the guy's name right now, but he got picked up by the Detroit Lions because he was willing to make that change. What I'm saying is, somebody on that coaching staff sees something that we don't see, and that's why I said, okay, you know what? If they say, it's something, they're not seeing everything that we see. We see it on TV. We see this. We see that. But I've heard them making changes, and the guy goes on to become all pro. I'm not saying that's gonna happen with Trevor.
It's not gonna happen with Trevor Wood.
I can't.
It's just not.
Unless you got that crystal ball, brother. I don't know.
Listen, Willie. I think. Look. We all got eyes. We all can see. Okay. Listen. If Trevor Woods won any chance to go to the NFL, I think somebody said what special teams, and I think he got to go back to that safety. And I don't even know that he'll play safety in the NFL. I think he's going to be a special teams guy. He has the IQ, and he definitely has that thing that you want on the team. But at the end of the day, I don't know why they're playing with his career. I think they're playing with his career, or he's playing with his career if he's going to linebacker. It doesn't make sense. Like, if you have any type of football acumen, if you have any type of football knowledge, you look at Trevor Woods and you're like, bruh, that's not linebacker. That's not what was his name? What's the guy name from the Ravens? What's his name from the Ravens? The former linebacker?
Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis.
Oh, bro, when you think about a Ray Lewis or some of the linebackers that made college, I mean that makes the NFL what it is, you can't look at Trevor Woods and be like, yo, I feel confident that guy's going to be a linebacker in the NFL. And if you're not going to go for that in the NFL, then what is the point of you doing that at a D1 level? It doesn't make sense. But for Colorado,
did you hear what I just said? What was my first statement? Somebody on that coaching staff see something that we as fans, you got to remember, Harry. That's all of us hold our place.
I see what you're saying. But that was last year, though.
We are just fans. We're very good fans. We are very loyal fans. But we don't see everything that the coaches see. That's why the coaches can make these decisions. They know. They see something in a player. You're talking about analyzing player talent and ability. And I'm saying that's why they make the changes. The one guy that went from he's a tight end now. What was he playing? Some kind of offensive something, but they put him to
Smalls. He played linebacker and he moved to tight end.
They see something in him that we don't see.
I see what you're saying.
Can I point out something? Can I point out something though? If these players were good enough to already be playing at that position, they would have come in at that position. And I also think Trevor Woods and Smalls, those position changes were due to need, not necessarily because these kids were that good at that position.
Exactly.
So I
Yeah,
think
I
Well,
I
agree.
think
I agree
Woods,
with that, Phil.
okay, so
yeah,
what's the
Woods
other
needs to
side
go
of it?
back.
Well, who's to say that they're not going to play better at that position? Who's to say that they're not going? Okay,
I
they
think
moved.
I
Well, who's
think
to say?
because
We
Tim,
saw it. We
That
saw
they're not
Trevor
going to
Woods
play
got
better.
beast out at the linebacker. We already saw that happen.
you
Huh?
got a higher caliber player that's coming in now that's going to be able to replace that young man. I just don't. I put money. I bet my whole paycheck that man he's not going to be a starting linebacker.
I'll take that bet.
I get where you're coming from and saying
Yeah,
that the coaches see things that we don't see, and you're right. We're just fans. We don't see everything. All we can do is go off of film from last year and then what we see on Well Off for Reach the People. But I 100% will bet my paycheck that he does not start as a linebacker this year.
Yeah. I mean, if he
Whatever
starts,
happened to people not being able to believe a player is good? Like, when did we get to the point where we have to say everybody's good? Like, I think it's okay to say that Trevor Woods is not a good linebacker. That's not to say
like
he's not a
for
good
real.
player or a person, but he ain't cutting the snuff at linebacker. I'm sorry. Respect,
but
but
he's
Let's put it this
smart.
way.
He's
If Trevor,
smart and
look, forget about
intelligent.
smart. Listen, Willie. If Trevor wasn't starting as linebacker for Colorado, we got a problem, bro. Okay? Like, stop playing with me,
We
Willie.
we can't.
If,
According to
if
you, Harry,
Trevor is starting as
Hey,
linebacker, we got a problem.
we cannot forget about smart because the whole thing we talked about earlier was IQ. At one
But
point, IQ
ability,
was very
physical
important.
ability
So
is important as well.
what
Those
you
two things
lack
have to marry.
what you
hey,
lack in
the tennis
size,
channel.
what you lack
I
in size, you can make up in IQ. I believe that.
I got a question for you then, since you're going with that. We look at Dominique, who went into the draft for the NFL this year, right?
Yeah, he was a
Do
captain.
you feel even with Woods' IQ that he was at the same level of play that Dominique was last year? Yes or no?
I don't know. I didn't watch. I don't know. I can't really answer
I
that
can
one.
tell you hands down it was not. He did not play at that same level that Dominique played last year.
You asked me your question. Answer your
I,
own
I'm
question.
I'm just you said you don't know because you didn't see it. So I'm just telling you from what I've seen and what I
Okay.
saw. You just said I don't know because I didn't see it like that. I didn't watch it like that. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you from what I've saw, and I'm sure other people can attest to this. Woods is not on that level. As a
Hey, Harry.
linebacker, he's just not.
Hey, real quick,
I
Harry. I wanna say something to that. Like, I feel like Trevor Woods more than likely will go back to safety, but having him as a depth player that can, if somebody go down or a couple of people go down, he can move into that role. I feel like that's good because he started at a safety, so he can cover. So having him outside linebacker to be able to cover is a good fit for Colorado. He can cover better than probably majority of the linebackers that they have in that room right now.
But that's a problem. That's where we have a problem.
Even
Like you're saying, it's a good thing, but that's a problem for us.
I mean, I feel like he understands how to fill gaps, uh, because of
But
his
man, I wish he
football
would just.
IQ.
That's what I'm saying. Like I really, I like the fact that his IQ is so high, right? But the idea of the physical part of it, where like you look at a Ray Lewis, or you look at these, you look at these linebackers that are really that good, and you're like, okay, some of these guys they don't have the IQ, but they can play because you see them making the wrong plays all the time or going the wrong way all the time. But Trevor Woods got the IQ, but I just don't see his physical ability like fitting as a linebacker, and I don't know that that's a good thing for Colorado. It's just like we had this argument where we said if Bentley is starting at linebacker, man, this is our best player. The guy that lost his job at the beginning of the season last year, that's the guy that we're really leaning on. That's why I say our linebackers room needs like a DJ Lundy. Like we don't have a DJ Lundy type of linebacker. You see what I'm saying? Like that guy that we just like, dang, we got a Travis Hunter at linebacker. We don't got that. And now we're trying to make arguments for utility players as a starter. You believe like Willie said like Trevor Woods can start?
No,
What?
I'm just going.
he's a
I
depth
didn't say
player.
start. No, I didn't say he will start. He
No,
probably will
Willie, you better
start.
own
But
it.
listen,
Own that, Willie. Don't back us up.
I'm just going off of what the coaches know a whole lot more than me. You know,
Well,
I
I mean,
never
yeah, you're
coached
always doing that
football.
soft thing. You
So,
always try to come in
yeah,
soft.
but
Oh, the
listen,
coaches know more than us.
the coaches know more than anybody on this panel. Trust me.
You
They
just want
got
to
the
win. You just want to
pedigree.
win.
They got
You
the
want to win
money.
the chat.
They got
What are you trying to
everything.
win the chat?
Let's put
Hey,
ourselves in their place, you know, or put
hey,
ourselves
Harry.
in our place. I'm
Hey,
just
Willie,
a
you
man
be trying.
that's enjoying the game.
Willie, you be
Yeah.
trying to win the chat. That's I see what you be trying to do. You,
Hey,
I'm
Willie be
Harry.
trying to win the chat.
I'm not reading the chat. What they saying? They saying some good stuff, or they saying the same thing, or
No,
what?
Willie, I know what you're trying to do. You be trying to win. You be saying all these soft, nice little coffee pillow type stuff. You be trying to win the chat. I see.
No, but I
You don't
believe
want to
that.
be
That's
all
in my mind.
controversial at
That's my
all.
mind, though. That's my
Hey,
mind. Though. I
Harry.
believe that.
Hey, Harry.
I really do.
Go ahead, Tim.
Willie has a point there because Devin White, linebacker of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I watched him as a high school player. He was a running back all 4
Mhm.
years. But to what Willie's talking about as far as the coaches know, and yes, they do. They should know.
Right.
But
Or there wouldn't be a coach, right?
exactly. So what I'm saying is when he got to LSU, they made him a linebacker.
Okay.
They seen something different in him. He had the size as a linebacker. He had the speed uh, as a running back. So they combined the two and just made him a linebacker. And that them switching him to linebacker got him a first round draft pick too to the Tampa
Can
Bay
I
Buccaneers.
can I give a rebuttal to that?
Tim say exactly what I see. See, Tim and I don't eye to
Oh,
eye.
now you're gonna do a virtual handshake. Come on, Willie, stop
No,
playing. Let
I have a
somebody
rebuttal to
real
that.
come in here, Willie. Go
Wrap
ahead,
it up,
Tim.
Willie.
Go ahead, Phil.
So
You know why they
so
call it a rebuttal, huh? Because you're rebutting.
so but so Tim, I understand the point that you're making, but I also think you have to look at it like this. Devin Smith is far more talented than what we've seen from Trevor Woods. So like even with me
Agreed.
being an Alabama fan, a lot of times he would recruit guys that play running back or play cornerback and running back or wide receiver and move them to cornerback. Uh, Derrick Henry, he actually was trying to move him to cornerback, but for whatever reason, he let him stay at running back, and the rest is history. But I think that only works in certain cases where that person is just a all around star athlete and they can do it. I'm
Good
not
point.
saying that Trevor Woods can't play both positions, but what I am saying is middle linebacker is not the position that he should be playing for Colorado, and I don't think that's the best position that he should be in to be his best self. I think playing safety suits him best personally and for the team.
I think so. I think so too.
I
And
agree. I agree.
yeah, I mean,
But
come on,
nobody,
like
guess what? The
like
people
this.
that in attitude don't care, guys. They don't care what you think.
Well, I mean, we talk. This is a talk show. What are you doing,
Hey,
Timmy?
Harry cares about what I think. Harry cares
Yeah, that's
about what I
What are
think.
you talking?
Harry,
Willie, come on, what are you
Harry even cares about what I think too. He may not say
I
it, but
care
he
about what
cares.
everybody thinks. I like the drama. Keep the drama coming. Willie's the soft pillow type. Oh, everything is so great. We're gonna Willie trying not to say anything controversial. Everybody's gonna be good until proven otherwise. So listen, at the end of the day, listen, man. At the end
We
of the
all
day,
good, man. We all good.
I
Harry.
agree with Willie. I agree with Phil. But there are percentages of agreement. Okay. Yes, the coaches know better, obviously, or there won't be a coach, right? But the coaches know what they know. Wasn't there Coach Prime that told BJ Green when he was 12 years old or whatever age he was, that he was going to be a defensive player, and now he is. And Wild Dog, who's in the comments today, helping the comments out today. Thank you, Wild Dog. He's like, look, I don't feel like talking. I'll just help the comments out. He said that Warren Sapp became they switched him over. So Warren Sapp was also one of those players that switched over. So it's not what you're
And he
saying,
was
Willie.
undersized too, right? He was
Yeah, it's not.
undersized.
We're not saying that these players cannot switch over and they'll be good. But what we're saying is that when they do switch over and you see them in that position, you're like, I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like you see it in real time. Like you can definitely see that Trevor Woods is not that guy. And I'm gonna go on the record by saying if Bentley's starting for us as linebacker, I feel better with him starting as linebacker than I do Trevor Woods. If Trevor Woods starts at linebacker, first of all, I'm not bullish on Bentley starting for us as linebacker. I'm not bullish on that either at all. But I feel way better we feel way better about him starting. Way better than it's like pick your poison, right? I would rather Bentley than Trevor Woods. And finally, guys, let's finish this. Let's finish this with saying I don't want the Texas Truth to feel like I ignored him. I'm not ignoring you, Texas Truth. I just want you to know the conversation that we had about IQ over talent. It was a conversation to let you know there are elements of the game that you got to put together. You got to put the physical part of the game versus the mind part together to have a dog. And oftentimes guys who have the physical part of that, they don't have the mental part of that, and then we don't see them the potential that we saw in them either coming from high school. It doesn't translate to the college rank. And you said to put your photo up. I'm not trying to have what I'm saying? I'm not going back and forth with it. I know you said you played D1, the Texas Truth. You played D1. If you play D1, then you should understand that you got to put it all together. It all has to come together. At the end of the day, you got to have the mind with the physicality of the game, and that's what makes you a dog. So if you don't agree, we can both agree to disagree. I don't want to make my guests feel like I know better than they do or they know better. I just don't want to have that I'm not that kind of guy. I don't want you to feel, I don't want to belittle you, and I don't want you to belittle me. These are just conversations we're having. That's all it is. It's just people's opinions. So don't take it personal. Don't make it feel like, oh, you have to prove something to me. You don't have to prove anything to me. If you don't agree with my thought, if you don't agree with my take on something, it's okay. You don't have to prove that you play. You don't have to do that. I don't care that you know what I'm saying? You played, and I respect the fact that you played. I don't want
Harry, one thing that he's got to understand that you do, you give everybody the ability to get on here and speak their piece. So, I mean, it's one thing to talk in the chat, but if you want to get on the panel and speak, man, just speak. Because, I've said some things that Harry don't agree with. It is what it is, but that's why we have these discussions, man. It gives people the ability to speak on the matter. So, really,
Right.
Harry, I don't think you have to explain yourself in any way to him. He knows what it is, and if he really felt that strongly about it, he has that ability to get on here and talk just like you're talking and I'm talking. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Harry, but
no, it's all good. But sometimes people can't get on here. But I see you in the chat, and I don't want you to feel any kind of way. I don't like for my people who are around me and who support me. Obviously, for you to even be in the chat, you got to be a subscriber. So for somebody to subscribe to the channel and support the channel and watch the videos and support me, I don't want us to be at odds. And it's just a discussion. It's an opinion. And you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, it's just an opinion. I had an epiphany today. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It was like, it was in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the moment and I was like, oh, shoot, I get it now. What makes a dog? There are two elements to a dog. A dog has to have the physical ability, and they also have to have the IQ or the football acumen or the acumen, even if it's basketball or whatever sport. You start with the physical, which God gives you, and then you can learn the IQ by studying and preparation. So once you put those two things together, that's what makes a dog a complete dog. You see what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? And so the part that you learn is the acumen by studying and preparation. The physical part God is going to give you. But God is, he's funny that way. He's not funny, but he's funny that way where he doesn't complete everything. the completion is going to come in your development. So that's what I see, and that was my epiphany today about what a dog or a complete dog is. And that's why we see some people. That's why we see some people who don't cut it because they don't want to study. They have the physical ability, and you see them. You're like, man, that guy is 6'6", 300 pounds, but he's a 300-pound dead weight. Why? Because he's not trying to put that extra thing in to go that extra mile. That's why you don't see every YouTube channel thrive. Is because they have the ability, they know football, but they don't put that work in. They don't want to study. They just think that, oh, because I know football, I can have a great YouTube channel. And that's not how this stuff works. I'm not the best football mind, but I'm putting the work in. And when my people talk to me, I talk back to them because I'm not this big guy who I can't talk to people in my comments. People like it when you address them as human beings, even if we disagree or we argue. I want you to know that I'm still here. I'm a human being. So you got to put that work in, and you got to respect people. You got to respect people's opinions. That is my final thought. So let me give it over to Phil to have his final thought on today, guy. What is your final thought, my guy?
So listen, so I've been doing therapy for about a year and a couple of months now. My
therapy?
And my
wife is a therapist. Yay, therapy.
If she in network, I might have to, support a black business, But no, she just basically told me I need to think more positive.
Conflict of interest.
Right. But no, she told me I need to think more positive. So that's what I'm gonna try to do when it comes to CU. I'm still going to be objective as possible, but I'm also going to try to think more positive. So Harry, thanks for letting me come on. Hope everybody have a wonderful, safe weekend, man. Y'all be blessed.
Oh, to think more positive. That I don't usually question your final thoughts, but your therapist said think more positive. So you're gonna use that on CU? Okay, I see you.
Yeah.
So you've been negative, man. It's been holding you up. You've been backed up with that negativity.
I'm a pessimist by nature. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to work through things. I'm trying to do better because as a man thinking is hard. So one thing I might tell you a joke, but I'll never tell you a lie. So that's me. You gonna get me 100% all the way.
That's good, man. Hey, man, I appreciate the honesty. So that's really good. Thank you for sharing that on here. A lot more people need to go to therapy, especially if you're black. We hate therapy. We don't think about therapy in the right mindset in the black community. So, listen, man, go to therapy. It works.
I highly recommend it. Get your mind right though, because it'll make you start asking more and more questions, peeling back the layers. But it's good to have that mindful thought, that mindful meditation about things in your life and how you respond to them. So yeah, I highly recommend it.
That's good stuff. Tennis channel, man. What is your Mr. Fluffy? I'm going to start calling you Mr. Fluffy Pillow over on this channel. What are your final thoughts on today, man?
Phil, it's good to have you on the show, man. Love you, brother. Guys, I like to have fun with this. I mean, I don't even go on any of the other chats anymore. I used to go on them, but this is the only one I look forward to coming because I know we can have fun here without people saying we're delusional or whatever because you think us, oh, you're delusional. But anyway, that's I'm glad to be on this show, man. Glad to be with Harry B. And so one thing I wanted to add to that dog thing, though, you got to remember, you said everything that a dog must have, but a dog, you got to remember, a dog have teeth. He'll bite you. A pit bull, he'll lock on and he won't let go. So we need what I'm hoping for CU that we get some pit bulls out there that's gonna lock on and don't let go. But I think it's a good show. You guys, I like to have fun with this. I gave pushback, but I do hope if we get a linebacker to come in there, Trevor Woods is gonna be in trouble. So with that right linebacker comes in. And I'm not giving up on Trevor. I know.
He finally agreed to it.
Hear me out. If the right linebacker coming in,
you gonna start another conversation. Your final thoughts.
I love you, Trevor. He might be listening, Trevor. I love you, but the right linebacker come in there, man. We're in trouble. I mean, we're not in trouble. It's gonna be a good thing to see you. But this
what you doing, Willie?
Hey, this is good therapy for me. Trust me, guys. This is good therapy for me. Because y'all the only guys I talk to. I don't talk to
Oh,
nobody else. I got one good friend. You're the only ones I
wait.
talk to. So
Hold on,
this is
talk about
good
Willie.
therapy
Wait,
for me.
wait, hold on. Willie, hold on. You did that thing that like one of these what you know that uncle that
I
like
didn't backpedal.
no, just
I,
listen. You did that thing like those uncles do, like at the barbecue where they'll be saying one thing, and then all of a sudden they just throw a curveball in there. You was just all big on the coaches can see what they see, they're better than us, and then all of a sudden you just gonna just softly throw it in there. If we get good linebackers, Trevor Wizards in trouble. Like, what I
and
got for
all are true statements. Didn't we say the other day that there's more two things can be true?
what else were we
We,
talking about?
we said that the other day, right? Two things can be true, right?
But that's where we were going with it. Like, all
Well,
right,
you know I got
I'm gonna,
Harry.
I'm gonna
Harry. You know I got to push back a little bit. You know that, man.
all right, I get it. It's you like to you like to keep the perspectives fresh. You give
Yes,
us you
yes,
give us that other side of the perspective, but then
yes, yes. We got to
all right,
keep that going. Yes, sir.
all right, Jay Will, what are your final go ahead, Jay Will. I'm
You know, I once again, man, I love coming on here. I don't get the opportunity to do it as much as I want to, but I just happen to be off today. So I appreciate the combo, guys. I think one other thing that I want to just say real quick that I think maybe some of us do know, maybe some of us don't know. We've got a lot of guys, and this goes into answering your question from earlier, Harry, about
mm,
the room that may need some help. But I think that we tend to forget last year we had 19 linebackers in that linebacker room.
Oh,
19.
19.
yeah.
That is
19 linebackers. So just keep that in mind. There are some guys there that have returned, that have been grinding, that have been pushing, that are sticking it out. And some of these guys that we're picking up, we may think may be the guy, but we may already have the guy there and just haven't seen him yet. Because there's a
Mm,
lot of players that we forget that are there. We've got about 5 or 6 guys that were linebackers that were freshmen last year. 6 or 7 were juniors. So we've got some guys with some experience that are in that room. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, man, I look forward to the next panel that you have, Harry. Hopefully, I can be a part of it. And I just appreciate you guys doing this. It makes it nice to where we can be able to go and have these discussions because, you see it all the time, man. There's a lot of people that can't stand Colorado, boy. I don't know why they have so much hatred for this team, but I want to see these kids do well. I'm rooting for them, and I'm looking forward to the season next year, or this year coming up. That's all I got to say.
all right, Jay Will. So just keep in mind that we do have a Monday night football talk now. So maybe Monday nights might work better for you. So I want everybody that's here to think about the Monday night show. We started off last Monday. So this coming Monday we will continue that show. So if the day shows don't work for you, you got to work Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Just subtract 3 hours backwards or forward, depending on where part of the world you're at, or whatever, how many hours. Peter Investor says, but a dog is also man's best friend. Oh, yo, a dog is man's best friend because he has all of the elements that makes a dog. You see what I'm saying? He has the smarts and he has the physical ability. Put together, that's a dog. Those two elements. Tim Smith, what are your final thoughts, brother, on today's show, or what are your final thoughts for today, brother?
Hey man, thank you for having me on again, Harry. Another great show, brother. You
Thank you,
doing
brother.
your thing, man. I've been excited about the show from the very beginning. I love how everybody able to come on here and give their opinion, different perspectives, learning from each other,
yeah.
um, learning a lot of different things outside of football that
Mm.
open your eyes to other things outside of football. But um, to the topics that you were talking about today, man, I'm just gonna leave with this. BJ Green from
Mm.
Arizona State
Okay.
is suspect. And the
Okay.
reason why I say suspect
Okay.
is because of effort.
Mm.
Mm.
You're saying you're putting this in your final thought. You want to just start over, don't you? What are you trying to do here, man?
No, I'm not trying to start over. I'm just saying
Why are
when
you
we
doing
talked
this?
about that dog mentality and how
Uh-huh.
everybody was like excited. Oh man, we got another dog edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when
Your,
they
your your
broke
favorite channel put it on breaking news.
man broke him down, the effort. Hey, for everybody in the chat as well as the panel, I advise for you, like Harry B said, go over and look at these brothers break down the players' film. He didn't raise my eyebrow. My eye didn't got the
Hey,
twitching. So
but not putting forward effort sounds a lot like somebody who coach had to get on early this year because he wasn't studying the playbook. So I'm just saying that
Is it
sound a
buffed?
lot like somebody we don't heard about.
but
Is it called
hey,
buffed in
thank you
prime?
for having me on too, Harry.
You're welcome. Is it called buffed in prime or buff in prime? Is there an ED?
I think it's buffed in prime.
Oh, I think it's an ED, right? So if you guys are watching, and if you guys know Buffed in Prime, guys, just let them know that TLP Sports Harry B. I'm bigging them up. I don't, I don't know what other people tell them about me. I know how
It's
sometimes
ED.
when okay, so it's Buffed in Prime. I know sometimes when people would say, I want to have them on the show. I just want to I want to have a camaraderie, but I don't know how they think about me because somebody might be like, oh, you don't want to mess with Harry B because he's toxic. He doesn't like the buff. He's a hater in what's the name? But anyway, if anybody knows them, just say TLPs be bigging them up. You know what I'm saying? Because hey man, they're doing good for the community, and that's what I care about. I want people who don't know college football, who don't really understand the game, in depth. You go watch their videos, you will get a perspective that's different. You will understand what the gaps are for. You will understand what schemes are for and why the game goes a certain way. Why your favorite player who looks good in practice may not be getting on that field. So you don't think when Coach Prime gets rid of him, you don't start thinking, oh my gosh, Coach Prime is this and Coach Prime is that. He don't like the guy because he's playing favoritism. You'll understand why certain things happen in college football, and that's why I keep talking about them. Buffed in Prime, go check them out. Whether they big me up or not, it's okay. I do what I do. But guys, I thank you so much for. Somebody has something to say on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, Harry, I agree with that. I've watched a young man. I think it's T Cal, and man, I got really really excited about it, about the stuff that I learned, that I thought I knew, the stuff I did not know, and so I didn't want to push it too much because this is your show, but I'm glad you're pushing him a little bit. Very brother's very knowledgeable. You sit there and listen at it and say, oh shoot, and you get to see the inside working of it from his perspective, which is he explains it very well, man. He explains everything really
I
really
would say
good.
they right. There's two
Makes
people on that
sense.
show. Y'all
It just
keep talking
makes
about
sense.
he, but there's two people on that show. So let's make sure that we're bigging up the other guy too. All right. So there's two people.
I don't know his name. I don't know his handle.
All right. So,
I'm
but let's
Hey,
make
no
sure
sorry.
that we
comment
give.
to that, but we ought to go in the chat and say, hey, Harry B's over supporting y'all channel, told us to come over here and support y'all channel. And you can just let them know in the comments where you from and who sent you over. So that's gonna
Yeah,
shed
yeah,
light to Harry B. But the
yeah. I
other
mean,
Mm.
guy, I'm not going to even comment on that. More of a hype man to me. But anyway,
well, that's cool. That yeah, everybody plays their part. That's what I want people to understand. Like the synergy. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't have to be the guy that played the football. They have something that's making them work together. So I don't downplay any part of it because just like the Bible says, every job is important. Even the person that's sweeping is just as important as the person that's on stage preaching. So I just want to big that channel up to let you know that both of those guys are doing a great job. And DC
Yeah.
Carson, you're crazy. DC said we should say pause when we say buffed in prime. When we say buffed in prime, I'm not gonna with you. I know you couldn't come on today. I miss you, brother, but you're crazy for that. Hey man, listen, listen, man. There's also another channel that I wanna big up before I leave here today. What is it? What was the lady name that came on that was like the hey Wild Dog, if you're still here, It's something. What was the girl? What was the lady name that came on here and was like DC? The DC was terrible. We needed to get rid of him. She was like Kelly was terrible. What was her name? She got a channel now. It's something take. Wild Dog. What's the name of the what was the name of the channel? Wild Dog. The lady that was. I forget her name, and I want to big her up. She has a channel now. What was her name, man? She came on here and she was like, man, Kelly was terrible. We needed to get rid of him. She was very firebrand type. And I wanted to say to her,
I know you're talking
Sam's take. All right, so Sam's take. I want y'all to go and go also get Sam's take. Sam was she came on the panel one time and she's really good. I like her videos. She's smart. Yeah. She puts it out there, and she's also good for the community. So anytime I see an opportunity to bless another channel, even if it don't do it for me, I don't care. I'm still gonna bless them. But I would say go out and go subscribe to Sam's Take. She does a great job, and she definitely needs the support to get her to where she wants to get to. So yeah, yep. Sam got a channel. It's called Sam's Take. Sam's Take. So if you go to Sam's Take, if you Google Sam's Take, you will see. So yeah. DC says, I'm trying to push a new instrumental album, so I was limited on time, but I've been listening. Great show. All right, listen, man. DC, whenever you get your album and you want us to support it on this channel because you support me, man, let me know. You drop the link, whatever platforms is on. We will support your music. Just let me know, man. Hopefully you make the time that you are trying to get today. All right, guys. So listen, man. Monday night show is going to be on. You guys let me know what y'all want to discuss, what you want to hear. Before I leave, if you're still here, we got about 78 people still watching. For those of you who are in the comments, what do you want to talk about on Monday Night Football? What do y'all want to see? And I'll ask the panel too, if you're still here. What do y'all want to talk about on Monday nights? Phil, what are some of the things you want to talk about on Monday nights, or what are some of the directions you want us to go on Monday nights?
Well, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm in the bed by about 7:30 on Monday night because I gotta get up at 3:30 to go into the office. So you know what I'm saying, it'd be a little rough for me on Monday night. But no, I think you know what I'm saying. Like a nighttime show kind of gotta have a little bit of more roughness to it. You know what I'm saying? I think Monday night should be when the. No, I'm just saying like Monday night should be the SmackDown type situation. I know we got Monday Night Football, but I come up from Monday Night Raw and, you know, say WCW Nitro, that kind of stuff. So like, I think Monday should be like a free for all if it's gonna be at nighttime.
I got a good one. A good one for Monday night. I won't tell you. It's about Travis Hunter. One I've been thinking about. Y'all will like that one.
So Monday night. So Monday night, Phil said it needs to be a little bit more rough. We need to get more gritty. We need to get more gritty on Mondays.
Yeah, man, stop being so PC, man. If a player suck, we just need to be able to say that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's be. Listen.
Your therapist might not like that, brother.
We can, but she said, you know, you can tell the truth, but be compassionate, because truth without compassion is cruelty. So I can still say somebody suck, but be tactful. You know what I mean?
Say that again.
Truth without compassion is cruelty.
For those in the comments, I want to let you know, I will second this motion, right? Because I think there's a quote that I want to add to what he just said. Somebody said, if I botch it, forgive me, that people don't care what you know unless they know that you care. All right? So I'm going to say that again. People don't really care what you know until they know that you care. So if you have something that you want to share, if you're not trying to shame somebody, if you're not trying to put somebody on blast, you will say it in a more compassionate way. You would say it in a way where if you really do care about that person in the comments, or you really do care about something, you would say, hey man, X, Y, and Z, but you know what I'm saying? This is how I would have approached it. You wouldn't just come on and be like, oh, this channel sucks. You don't know what you're talking about. And then when I approach you and I say, hey man, what are you talking about? Then you start saying, oh no, I was just trying to help you grow. Like, wait a minute. That sounded a little weird. Like,
right. But the quote is, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. But that's the quote.
That's it right there. Say that again. Let me get it clean. Say that again.
No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, man. That right there hits hard. Okay, that hits
Release
hard.
the,
So
yeah, it release the hostility. Some people they say they care about you, but they're so hostile with it. You know, there's it's like an anger behind it. Oh, but I love
mhm.
you. Really?
Right. Like you know what I'm saying. Like that's how you approach life when you approach somebody in the comments. Even if you don't like this person and you're trying to be constructive, do it in a constructive way, not in a destructive way. So with that being said, guys, Monday nights. Anybody else? Let me get in some more people in the comments in the chat. Hey, Jay, Will, what do you think we should talk about on Mondays? Even if you can't make the show, what do you think we should talk about on Mondays? Or what are some ideas you might have to want to throw out for Monday night shows?
Oh man, I don't even know, Harry. I be honest with you. You the guy for that, man. I just joined in and talk. talk. I definitely try to make it on Monday for sure. That'll be my day off. Man, I don't know. I mean, you kind of just trying to have me pull it right off the top of my head, man. So I don't move
Okay,
that
so
quick.
yeah, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but anybody in the chat, even if you're watching after the show is live, just go ahead and put it in the chat. Like, what are some of the things you want to talk about on Monday nights? What are some topics that you would like? Position
Hey,
room
Harry,
ranking. Yeah, go ahead.
could you put up maybe like a poll on Sunday night? Put up a poll on YouTube, and you come up
Mhm.
with maybe 3 or 4 topics, and then just you know let the followers decide, or maybe they can be like another members perk or something like that to do like a poll,
Mm,
and then that way you can see what people actually want to hear about in real time
okay.
instead of like kind of doing it on the fly with them in the chat.
Okay. Monday, you should watch the well off and reach the people footage for the week, then react. Okay, we can. That's another idea. We can react to what's going on. We can do a live reaction for Monday nights. We can do a live reaction to the well off videos or the reach the people media videos.
It's not a
Those are
bad
some good
idea.
ideas. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Those are some good things. Yeah. So, all right. So Monday, I'll see y'all on Monday. Monday, we're gonna do a Monday show. I will try to. I'm trying to make that show a little bit better. I'm trying to bring it up to speed for the day shows. The day shows are usually banging, but I'm trying to make Monday nights interesting. And I'm trying to, reactions are cool. Okay,
Here's
we
one
was
for you.
busy.
Here's one
Yeah.
for you. Travis Hunter. Should he stay or should he go?
What are you trying to do? What are you doing? Wow. What are you
Just
doing, Willie?
making it, just making this
It's
show,
it's
making
it's a,
this
it's
show
a valid
interesting.
question. It's a valid question because he can
Yeah,
stay.
making this show
He
interesting.
can stay. He can
What are you
stay.
doing?
I think it's obvious he gonna go on to get that bag, but he could stay if he wanted to.
Should
Oh,
he go
you're
or
talking
should
about
he
you're talking
stay?
about the NFL, right? I hope you're talking
Yeah.
Yes,
about the
sir.
NFL. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Oh,
yeah.
you scared me there for a second.
Oh,
you scared. Tim, you're back. What's up, Tim? What? Hey, Tim. Ooh, somebody's driving with their audio.
and driving.
Yeah, can you
So
hear me?
yeah, go ahead, brother.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick, we ought to also talk about have Coach Prime brought in the right players to help the coaches, some of those coaches that are analysts, to scale up to where they may want to
Good.
be
That's
at
good.
as far as a head coach one day.
Good one. I like that.
What do you mean? Break that down a little bit because I don't understand.
Okay, coach, have Coach Prime, or you can reverse it. Have Coach Prime brought in the right staff to help those players succeed to the next level.
Oh, okay. So you wanna go deeper into the coaching staff to see. Do you want to talk more about the coaching staff?
Yeah, since we only had, and I know it was just a short time frame, but we only had one athlete that got invited to the combine. Based off of what we have now and what he's bought in, did he bring in the right personnel to help increase that that the NFL mock draft maybe, or you know, to get that invitation to the combine?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and then there's some ideas that come up out of that thought as well, where you start thinking about how strong once Shiloh Shador and Travis leave, how strong are Colorado's team or ability to put people into the draft? I think that the team is going to go cold. I personally think that the team is going to go cold after Coach
Agreed.
Prime leave, and it's going to be like ice cold after those guys leave. After this first wave of people leave, Colorado's going to go back into obscurity. Maybe we can talk
Hey,
about that on Monday. That would be a good
but
topic.
that's why recruiting out of high school actually matters too, to get those guys that can come in and believe in the system. Yeah, some are going to transfer, but that's why I never was big on building a team through the transfer portal. Like you got to have some
Mm,
of those foundation guys, like a Dylan Edwards, like a Kermani, like a the offensive lineman they just got this year, Seaton. So
Jordan
yeah,
Seaton.
it's gonna be things are gonna be different in 2 years for sure.
Mm. Viral Authority has a thumb down on Sam's take, but maybe they had a bad experience on one of those videos. It's always, listen, man, people got bad experiences on a lot of videos I put up. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm still supporting it. Whatever experience you have, I don't know if they had a bad comment on, maybe you had an argument. It's okay. That's one thing I want to take away. If you have an argument with the creator, guys, it's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as they're respectful to you and both of y'all are respectful people, it's okay to have differences. It's okay to argue sometimes. You don't agree with everybody in your life. Why do people take like creators' arguments so personal? Like, oh my gosh, I'm unsubscribing because you don't like, bruh, like you don't agree with your mother. You don't agree all the way with your father, your spouse. Like, come on, bruh. Like, we're creators. We're out here. We're trying our best to try to, entertain. So don't take it so personal. It's okay. Like, I'm gonna argue with y'all in the comments. We're gonna disagree. Okay, but it doesn't mean that I'm malicious or I'm thinking ill will of you. So listen, man, Monday nights is going to be a good show because I'm thinking about a lot of the things that you're saying. And like I said, maybe, you know what, Monday, we're probably going to talk about Coach Prime's after the Fabulous 3, can't call them Fabulous 5. After the Fabulous 5, what is Colorado going to look like? Colorado's going to go cold for a bit. And I think Coach Prime might even leave. This is for Phil. I think Coach Prime might even leave after the Fabulous 3.
Come on, stop, Harry. Stop. You see, you feel you throwing fuel on the fire now, man. Stop all
Look,
that.
hey, I said it. I said it. If they win 7 or more games this year, and the University of Florida only wins 6 games this year, he's going to Florida and he gonna clean out the house in Colorado with those transfers, and everybody's gonna go to Florida.
He ain't
Watch and
going to
see.
Florida, Phil. Stop all that,
Watch and
man.
see.
He
Watch and
comfortable
see.
where he at, man.
Phil.
He
Watch and see.
building something big over there in Colorado. Y'all quit throwing all that out there like that, man.
Oh my God.
I can't stand when people do that, man.
Hey man, but that's good topic for Monday night though. Like that'll get blood
Stop it,
pumping.
Phil.
It'll get blood pumping and people really going at it and giving their different perspectives at
That
it. So
that'll be a good topic, and I'll make sure I'm on for that one because I want to see how this one goes. It's gonna be some feelings hurt in this one.
You better put up a disclaimer. Harry, you got to put up a disclaimer that night, brother.
man, I'm not afraid of nobody. At this point, man, I've had so many fights with different people. They still don't get it. And I don't think that some people who don't get it, they're still not going to get it because they just don't want to get it. But I'm not afraid of nobody at this point. You know what I'm saying? If you out here afraid of people, then you're not really doing it for the right reason. But I'm not afraid. But listen, if you don't think that Colorado is going to go cold after the Fabulous 3, then tell me what player you really like what player do you really like on Colorado besides those players that you really think are going to be like the superstars of Colorado? Is there, after LeBron leaves the Lakers or after LeBron leaves the NBA, who's next? Who's from the Celtics?
There ain't none.
Is there anybody that's going to make the NBA that's going to be the face of the NBA after LeBron leaves? I don't see anybody coming up. You see what I'm saying? So there's no the mega superstar. I don't see us. Giannis is not that guy. Even the guy from the Celtics is not that guy. I don't see anybody that can beat the.
What about the 7-footer from France?
Yeah, those overseas players don't really care about that kind of stuff.
I don't know that
Victor Wembanyama.
Wembanyama. I don't even know that he's not that guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like he's a freak, but he's not that guy. So
He likes it up though.
I don't see it unless he maybe something would transpire. But we're talking Colorado. Who's going to be the face of Colorado when all those players leave?
It's got to be Jordan Seaton. It's got to be Carmoni. He's not really good in front of the camera, so I don't know what that situation will be. Maybe a Dylan Edwards. Yeah, I think the guys that actually came in that Dion recruited from high school would probably be the faces of the team next year.
I think Bucky's going with Shador to the NFL.
I did hear that. I did hear that on one of the episodes when they were house hunting for their dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, yeah, I'm going wherever he go. So yeah, I don't know.
I think Bucky's going to the NFL. He will have a crew still trying to do what they're doing here at Colorado. But all of these things are plausible things to talk about. It's the talk, okay? It's a sports talk show. So these are topics that we can talk about without seeming malicious or trying to downplay the team. But there's no way Luka is not no NBA up next. No, Luka is he's too laid back. He's too real of a person. And that you can't be too real of a person to be the face of the NBA because he's like, this NBA thing does not make me who I am. I am a human. I like my daughters. I like my family. Yeah, that's great, but we need a superstar. Okay, like you're saying all the right things. That's not fun. You can't be a real person. That's not fun. We need somebody dirty.
I think that'll be a good topic for sure for Monday, man. Is who's the up and coming after Shador is gone, man. That'd be a real good topic. I think, like Phil said, definitely Jordan Seaton. There, they kind of already have him set up for that. But I think also what's going to dictate that too is how well the season goes. Because if Shador has a stellar season, then that's going to really play into what type of commit they're going to be able to pick up from high school. Because that's typically where they start going and where they start looking at who's going to be, for the future. So, but that's a pretty good topic right there, man.
All right. So,
but they have to bring in starters though, because they're not going to put that over unless he's a superstar freshman.
No. I'm not saying that, but that's a big thing. Like a Bryce Underwood or a Juju Lewis. Yeah. Juju's supposed to be coming to Colorado, even though he's committed to USC already. He's supposed to be coming back to Colorado for a second visit. So that's big. I mean, any college that picks up a 5-star QB, top 10 or whatever, top 20. That kind of sets the tone for moving into the future, because they gotta start building around that quarterback, man. It can't just be Jordan Seaton, even though he's kind of already set. His path is already set for that. But I think the big question for everybody is going to be, once Shador is gone, who's going to take his place? Who's going to step up to the plate? So, yeah, I definitely agree. It's got to be a starter or somebody. I don't know if it's going to be somebody there or who that might be. But, Antoine Hill, that was nice when he committed, but then decommitted after 2 weeks. That made no sense to me, but it is what it is. So, but, yeah, Harry, I think that's a good topic, man.
All right, so for the record, it's Antoine Hill, not Antoine Hill. I know a lot of people make that mistake, but it's Antoine Hill. But listen, that we're gonna talk about that. Who's up next? Okay, we're gonna talk about that on Monday Night Football. I'm gonna try to make it interesting, and y'all bring your A game if you're gonna join the panel. But Monday night, and I also want you to know Prime Effect 101, the comment that's on the screen right now. I believe they're gearing up to start their channel. This is a person that and they'll let you know who they are once that channel starts. They're going to be bringing some fire content, and they are very knowledgeable about this whole Prime situation. And I can't wait to get their confidence up. I can't wait till they get their confidence up and start this channel right now. Stop playing with me. Anyways. All right, so Monday, who's up next? I think that's what it's going to be. I got to think about that topic or that title, but who's up next? Who will replace the Fabulous Three? I'll see y'all on Monday, guys. Have a good weekend.
Hey, Harry, really quick. You're talking about creators, man. Give a quick shout out to John the Liquidator, man. Because he's been coming under.
I don't give John the Liquidator a shout out because I did that to start off my career with this thing. I don't do that because him and I are not friends. He's
Oh,
made it
okay.
clear. Yeah, he's made it clear that him and I are not friends. I shouted him out, and then Her Ticket Sports, I shouted her out. I made a video, and I said in the beginning of the video, you know how important those things are. Those videos have gone to like 40, 50,000 views. So 40, 50,000 people even heard me shouting them out. And then he made it a point to make sure that I was not a friend of his. So I was like, okay, that's what it is then. So that's why I don't care about him. And he don't care about me, so I don't care about him. So it is what it is.
Sorry,
But
man. Sorry about that, brother. Sorry about that.
it's,
You know, I was just
you
just
know, I'm
trying
a
to
nice
reach
guy.
out.
I care about everybody. But if somebody makes it a point to make sure that I'm not their friend, then all right, then we're not friends. It is what it is. That's why I don't say his name anymore. I don't even want to. I was following him. I unfollowed him, and I actually blocked him because he's the biggest prime channel, and he wants everybody to know that, and that's why I don't care about him. So,
Hey,
all right,
in the
guys,
South, we say bless your heart. We'll just leave it at
bless your
that. Bless his
yeah,
heart.
Yeah,
bless your
yeah.
heart, brother. You are the biggest, and I'll give you that. You know, he breaks a lot of information. I'll give him that, but if you don't want to be my friend, then it is what it is. I'm not gonna throw no dirt on his name. I ain't gonna say nothing about him. It is what it is. Let him win. Win. I wanted you to win together, but let him win. Whoever I big up, I big up. Whoever I don't big up, it is what it is. Guys,
All right, brother.
listen, man. If anything happens, my email is. I want to put my email back on the screen. If anything happens, join tlplive@gmail.com. Just shoot me an email. Be like, yo, Harry, check this out. This is happening. I know you're probably busy doing the video, and the next video is gonna be the what's the video that's coming up next? The next video is gonna be the mascots. Y'all, please watch that video. It's not popular prime. It's not a popular prime topic, but
That's
it's
gonna be
fun
funny.
when you learn. It's fun when you learn about the next team, how they got their mascots. Y'all don't even know, like, do y'all even know how we got the buffalo? So I'm gonna start off the video with that, how we got the buffalo. You know what I'm saying? So it is, you know, I hope y'all watch that video, but that's gonna be my next video. So how the Big 12 mascots, that thing that's gonna be the series, the name of the series, and I would do 3 teams on our schedule. I would do the first 3 teams and then the next 3 until we finish the schedule, so that way you can learn more about the team. And I'm going to continue to do I'm continuing the series. What's the Colorado versus the Big 12? We're gonna be dealing with Baylor next. I think that's either Baylor is our next team. So, anyways, that series is still going on. Obviously, you guys know it takes a lot of time to do these videos. That's why some things are delayed. With all that being said, guys, you'll have a great weekend.
Thank you, brother. Have a good
All right,
show.
y'all be blessed.
All right, guys. Be blessed. Peace out.